Who's in, Brad? Indiana Hoosiers Live 67 presented by FanDuel. And I guess it's kind of funny. Last episode was called Who's In or Who's Out, Who's In. We only got to Who's Out. And I think it actually makes a lot of sense to start here, Brad, with the breaking news of the day, not where I thought we were going to start the show, but Chandler Whitmer has officially accepted the quarterback's coach position with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Pete Thamel had that today. Tom Pelissero had it today. I don't know who was first. I think they were both first. Initial reaction to Chandler Whitmer no longer being the quarterback coach at Indiana.
Probably not super shocking, to be quite honest. Produced a Heisman winner in his 1 year as a quarterback's coach, like full-time quarterbacks, because he came in, he was like an assistant quarterback's coach, right, in the NFL. Like, it wasn't like the main guy. He was just the assistant.
He was a passing game coordinator for
So
Atlanta
he was like working with quarterbacks, but not necessarily directly. Like, obviously was somewhat of a quarterback's coach, and then got his first full-time quarterback's gig with Indiana. Crushed it, Heisman winner in his first year. Obviously it's a team effort, Cignetti, Shanahan, obviously Chandler Whitmer involved with all, obviously Fernando. I'm a big proponent of players develop players, not necessarily programs or coaches. Coaches help for sure, programs help, but players develop players. Let's keep that in mind. Anyways, well-deserved. Wasn't super surprising. I think we were hearing rumors of Raiders, and we heard about the Buccaneers interview about a week ago. And yeah, super well-deserved. Great hire by the Buccaneers. I think he's going to be a fantastic coach. He's a rising star in the coaching ranks. Reason why Cignetti got him. And this is just part of being as successful as Indiana is. We're going to have a lot of coaching turnover, somewhat roster turnover. We're always going to keep the guys that we want being at the top level. And yeah, we just need to expect this. This is what happens when you win, right? People are going to want a little bit of piece of the pie. And now even the NFL wants a slice, right? Which is kind of cool, right? I think that's a good I think a thing to note is thank you, Chandler Whitmer, for winning a national title, forever a national champ. He's got the shirt on. Rose Bowl champs.
My nice sweet Indiana championship gear.
Yeah, Rose Bowl champs. And I don't know, great hire. I think Cignetti's going to find a guy. It'll be interesting. I would love to usually like the old me would be like super into like, okay, who's the name? Who are we going to get? What are the names? What are the candidates? No one knows jack about shit about this. So I'm just going to wait for the news to break out who we're hiring. It's probably going to happen in the next week or so. And they're probably going to hire someone who's really good, really qualified. Sig's knocked it out of the park with replacing the original 2024 staff with obviously Chandler Whitmer being the first one, and then replacing Derek Owings with Tyson Brown. Tyson Brown nailed that. What a pull. And yeah, just super qualified guys. I'm sure he's going to knock it out with his third big hiring search in his coaching staff. So obviously I'm sure there's, smaller members of the staff he's had to replace over the years, but in terms of like major staff replacements, this is his third big search. So we'll see how that goes. Super excited to see who we bring into the fold. Cignetti's a quarterback guy. So as long as Cignetti's there, I'm not going to worry about the quarterbacks. We're always going to have good quarterbacks. Super excited for Josh Hoover. I think Josh is on board with my same sentiment. Like whoever they bring in, I'm just excited to work with them. And I know I'm in the right spot no matter what. So that's what matters. As long as Josh Hoover is comfortable and we find ways to make Josh Hoover the best Josh Hoover he can be, we're going to be set up for success. We'll talk more about Josh down the line. He's just some overarching things. He's a very good system fit, very heavy RPO guy, the most dual threat guy we've had yet, which makes
you're stepping on the rest of the pod, Brad. And there's a question in the chat from Alex France who's talking about the transfer portal.
But he's saying it can't be obvious. Josh Hoover's obvious.
But I'm saying we're going to cover the entire transfer portal at the back end of this podcast. But I think there was a lot of things you said there that I kind of want to unpack. And the biggest thing was that there were some rumors and some rumblings that Chandler Whitmer was kind of looking around what the NFL had to offer. So it wasn't completely out of left field when he did interview for the Bucs job. The other thing is, in hindsight, is 2020, but it really kind of feels like, at least now, that Whitmer was always going to be a one-year hire. Like you look at his track record, the guys he's worked with, it was, I think, Lawrence and Field.
He's rising fast.
Exactly. 3 years with Herbert. He spent time with Penix. Like when going into this season, we all believed Mendoza was going to be capable of having the year he had. I believe at this point already, Mendoza had thrown at the pro day and Chandler Whitmer wasn't even hired yet. And so, like, really, really fast turnaround for Chandler Whitmer. But like you said, he produced a Heisman winner. Indiana won a national championship. And if you look at some of the times that Cignetti would be most frustrated on the sideline, a lot of that ire was directed towards Chandler Whitmer, who was standing next to him as the quarterback's coach. There was more than a few times during the year where I'm not like saying there was any type of like bad blood or rift or anything, but you just like you watch high level guys interact with each other on the sideline. And there were definitely times where Cignetti was frustrated about the game, frustrated about a call, whatever. And it kind of looked like some of those things were going on. And so, like, when you factor all of those things together, it makes a lot of sense that Whitmer took advantage of an opportunity that was presented to him, coached in an unbelievably well-run program, worked with an unbelievable NFL prospect, got his name out into the waters that he wanted them to be in, and got a full-time opportunity in the NFL and took it. And so while it was kind of shocking that he wasn't hired immediately. It kind of felt like after he interviewed for the Bucs job and it didn't immediately come out that he got it, that it was more of like a test the waters type of thing. But no, look at the guy's track record. He's absolutely earned his way there. And like you said, this staff and specifically Curt Cignetti are unbelievable at developing the quarterback position. And so we saw how good Curtis Rourke was with Tino Sinceri. We saw how good Fernando Mendoza was with Chandler Whitmer. You don't want to have to replace your whole staff, but when it's one guy at a time and you can bring them into the system that already exists, you feel a lot better about the ability to replace that piece, especially when Chandler Whitmer wasn't the offensive coordinator. He was the co-offensive coordinator. He wasn't calling plays. And it's not like Fernando Mendoza is sticking around for another year. And it's not even like Alberto Mendoza is sticking around for another year. Like Hoover has never been coached by Chandler Whitmer. And so it'll be a completely new voice in the quarterback room for everybody. And one of the things that we didn't really get a chance to talk about, but a lot of what we're going to get into this week is that the guys in this room that are going to hear Indiana just won the championship and all this good stuff, more than half the roster has not won a championship. And there are guys on staff now, multiple guys on staff that haven't won championships. And so you want to talk about motivation and hunger and the ability to repeat. Well, it's not going to be a repeat for the entire staff. And I think that is a silver lining way to look at a lot of these things. And also, if you like to look at odds, which we do over here on FanDuel, before the Chandler Whitmer news, Josh Hoover was plus 1,000 to win the Heisman. After the Chandler Whitmer news, Josh Hoover plus 1,000 to win the Heisman. He actually technically moved up in the way the odds fall. I think he was 5th or 6th last week, and I think he's 3rd as it sits today. So for what it's worth, Brad.
As he should be. Yeah, a few things to pull from that. Just some last thoughts before we close the book on Chandler Whitmer. I'd say him starting the season in Tampa isn't even 100%. I would say whichever team ends up with Mendoza, whether that's the Raiders, would love the Rams, could end up going after him as well, just to make things more comfortable for him. I think that's a point to be made. We're going to replace anything. I think a lot of people were talking about, would it makes a lot of sense. Bring Tino back. I doubt that happens, to be quite honest with you.
I'm glad you said that, because I don't think that's a possibility.
Like with, Sig getting after a Tino or a Chandler Whitmer, those are just two high-level people challenging each other to get better. Like, those are working relationships. Coaches yell at other coaches all the time. At the end of the day, Sig is Chandler Whitmer's boss, so he's allowed to yell at him, right? This is how it goes. And if you're going to yell at anyone the most, it's probably going to be the quarterback's coach, because that is, if you're at Cignetti, it's probably the most important position. Obviously, it's 11 guys doing their jobs, but without the quarterback, the engine doesn't work. So yeah, I think whoever they end up going with is going to be the right guy, and obviously we just always trust in Sig here. And I'm just excited to see who we bring in, and excited to break them down and talk about that person's experience, his or hers experience. Don't want to genderize the potential new hire, but would be exciting to see who they bring in. Could be another, up and coming NFL guy like a Chandler Whitmer. Could be another up and coming college coach in the ranks, and likely to get the co-OC title. Just a guy that will be fun to follow as the Cignetti coaching tree develops. Like, this is a guy that's rising super fast. He's probably going to be an OC in the next 5 years. And if you're an OC in the NFL, odds are you're going to get some head coaching interviews if you're successful. So he's definitely would be a cool name to kind of follow around and just see how his career progresses. That's always just going to look good on the program. And I think as he progresses as a coach, I think he's super young, right? He's got to be like early 30s, right? Chandler Whitmer. I'm going to look him up real quick. But regardless, as he progresses, and he's only 34, so as he progresses toward that goal around when he's 40 and he's getting interviewed I'm just hypothetically getting interviewed for NFL head coaching positions, if everything goes to plan for him, would be a cool just name to have around the part of that Cignetti coaching tree. I think that works well for him, being able to say, hey, I worked under Cignetti for a year and we won a national title. I know how to be, because Cignetti, like, he will never go to the NFL, but a lot of his coaching philosophies would translate to the NFL, right? Being a leader of men, 11 guys doing their jobs, fast, physical, relentless. That shit will translate. So Chandler Whitmer having that with him will make him a very top of the line coach wherever he goes. And maybe one day might boomerang back here as head coach. Who knows? I don't know. I'm throwing hypotheticals out there. It's all bullshit anyway. So, just excited to see him flourish in Tampa Bay or wherever, what other department in the NFL he decides to work in, whether that's Oakland or Los Angeles or Seattle or Cleveland. Who cares? Like, he's gonna find success, and he's a great coach. So rising star, excited to follow it. And he gets to work with Baker. Love Baker. Great guy to work with. Oh my God. Baker. Couldn't say enough of good things about him. Heisman winner in his own right. First overall pick. Got screwed by the Browns. Won their first playoff game in 20 years. They threw him out like garbage. So guy with a chip on his shoulder. Very similar to Mendoza. I think Whitmer, working with him, can bring a lot of good out of him. Not that, Baker needs a lot of work. Right now, he's one of the top quarterbacks in the league. Excited to see him flourish. Let's move on.
I like it. We also, it's funny because it kind of ties into the conversation we just had, but there was a question we got asked on one of the videos during this week, and it was from Ryan Fulton, and he said, honest question here, boys. Do you guys think Haynes Shanahan have real desires to be head coaches in the foreseeable future as long as Sig keeps this rolling?
Haynes has said he doesn't, so there's your answer there with Haynes. Doesn't really do it. He's the more likely candidate than Shanahan. So it's obviously they're going to get asked. And, there's a thing about, when you're making millions of dollars and you have damn near 100% job security, there's something to that. You don't want to, the grass isn't always greener. I can speak to that in my own professional career, right? Like moving on from places and the grass wasn't necessarily greener and I've had to pivot and kind of maybe go 2 steps back to go 5 steps forward again, and that's just the way life goes. And I think guys, those guys are more experienced than me in life. So I think they know that. And I don't really see them having strong head coaching desires, but obviously if like a Michigan comes calling, like you got to answer the phone. You know what I mean? Like if a big name comes after him, like, hey, you got to, it's almost a job you can't refuse, right? If one of those offers comes down the line, sure they'll take it, but I don't see them going to North Texas. I'll tell you that to be a head coach. So, that's my answer for that. Like if Pitt comes calling Mike Shanahan, he's taking the job. Like that's his alma mater. Like he'll go. You know what I mean? And Shane, I don't know where Haynes went to school, but if Ball State comes calling, maybe that's a passion project for him, right? And maybe he wants to go back and. We'll see. But beyond those two, if it's not a very high-level power 4 job, I just don't see it.
Well, no, to echo your exact sentiment, Haynes has said himself that he isn't interested at this exact moment. Now, does that change after he wins the Bros Award next week? I'm not sure. I think that gets announced on the 12th. If he doesn't win that, it'd be an absolute travesty. But for Shannon, I think the answer for both of those guys would be if they wanted head coaching jobs, they'd both have them right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hard for me to imagine North Texas didn't call them. Hard for me to imagine James Madison didn't call them. Hard for me to imagine. Yeah, it's hard for me to imagine James Madison didn't call both of them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard for me to picture that, that didn't happen. Yeah, so I feel like if they had strong desires, we would have heard more buzz around it, and we just didn't hear any of it. So either they're really good at keeping things under wraps, which they kind of are at Indiana, or they have no desire, and it could be a little bit of both.
Let's move on, Brad. Here's where I actually wanted to start, because we had the battle for Brad over this past weekend. And like we've been saying, when Indiana basketball gives us things to talk about, we will talk about them. And so I will again hand the floor to you, Brad. Indiana, UCLA, 2 overtimes, Pauley. Talk about it.
First off, Hoosiers all the way. Grew up, dad went to UCLA. Grew up on UCLA. Sports, football, basketball, went to games all the time. Baseball games too, like raised on that shit. That's how my passion for sports really blossomed was, yeah, obviously I had the Lakers and the Dodgers, and that helped for sure. But UCLA sports is really what got the ball rolling there. Wouldn't have really gotten into Dodgers or Lakers without UCLA, right? Following the baseball team and the basketball team and the football team. First off, I wish Pauley Pavilion was back to where it was back in like 08, 06 era, where it was loud. And ever since the renovation, I kind of feel like it's not in the same spot as where it, really used to be. I was actually at the debut of the renovated Pauley when they played Indiana State, and I don't know why I'm on the screen by myself, but they ended up. I
just got to close the door.
I feel like ever since I'd say Mick Cronin got hired, which is really unfortunate. I mean, they've had some spurts with those really good Tiger Campbell, Jaime Jaquez teams where the place was back and did feel like it was back. But, the environment of UCLA just isn't where it used to be, and I wish it was, because Pauley is a great place. It's a place that holds 11 banners. Like Indiana likes to flex our 5 banners, which is something to be very proud of. UCLA doubles that and then some. So it's
I'm not going to endorse that on this. I mean,
a lot very of proud.
Who knows?
All I'm saying is that's a very proud program, and the fan and the fan experience and the environment in Pauley should reflect that, and it doesn't. Anyways, let's talk about the game, because it's fun watching a game where you know all these guys very, very well. You followed most of these guys since they're in high school. Not as much for the Indiana folks as they all came in. I was introduced to them mostly this year. I knew about Reed Bailey and Tayton Connerway before they became Indiana Hoosiers. I knew who those guys were. Didn't really know about Lamar Wilkerson too much because Sam Houston State just didn't win a whole lot. But yeah, watching these guys, I knew going into it, they're very even. I think Indiana has the edge where shooting, just historically, not even a Mick Cronin team, but just like historically, like road teams at Pauley love to shoot the ball and make it from 3. They just love to do it. They just happen to have their best shooting nights when they play Pauley. And it started out slow. I was like, why aren't we making shots? Usually the road team at Pauley always makes their 3s right off the bat, and it becomes a pain. And I just picture my dad getting all pissed off about them. Oh my God, every team plays the best game of their lives when they go to Pauley, which is some truth to it, right? And then they started picking it up. Nick Dorn dropped his 26. Lamar had his quiet 20, and DeVries even got it going a little bit. And it was a great back and forth effort. My only real issue with that game was the end. And we had that game locked up by 10 with 90 seconds to go, somehow force overtime. And like, how are you not fouling up 3? You're gonna let Trent Perry, McDonald's All-American, straight out local kid, probably like only a true sophomore, probably the leader on that UCLA team right now, which is pretty crazy. That's a name to remember, Trent Perry. Stud, really coming into his own, probably playing some of the best stretch of basketball of his life right now. You're gonna let that guy pull up straight away from 3 and not just foul. Why don't you just foul Donovan Dent? The guy shoots like 65 from the line. Just foul him. You're up 3. He's probably gonna go one of 2. Like, I don't know what we were thinking there. And we let Trent Perry get a nothing to lose shot. When you get a nothing to lose shot, like I love talking about how I'm a shooter. Like if you give me a shot like that where I'm just able to just pull up, nothing to lose, not thinking, it's gonna go in. Like that's a high percentage look, damn near, right? And of course he splicks it. Like he's a McDonald's All-American, local kid, and yeah, they put themselves in a tough position where they had to go to overtime, lots of foul trouble. We got lucky with some Bilodeau foul, dumb Bilodeau fouls. I mean, that guy. If you don't double Bilodeau, you're in for a heap of trouble. And we were doing a great job of that all game, dealing with Bilodeau. And every time he touched the ball, send the double. That's how you have to guard him. He's probably one of the better scoring fours in the country. Like, not just the Big Ten, like the country. The dude is a walking 2010. Or 20, he doesn't rebound that well, but he's a walking 20 points, right? And so we did a great job guarding him, got him in some foul trouble, some questionable calls toward the end, maybe got some bailouts with that, tip ball out of bounds. That was definitely off Sisley. And then we got, the foul call at the end. Maybe I don't know if it was a foul. It was bad positioning by Donovan Dent. He probably shouldn't have been in that position to begin with. That's on Donnie Dent. Arguably not a foul, but bad positioning, you're going to get the call. And and we kind of got bailed out, but they earned that win because they should have locked it up way before that point when they were up 10 with 90 seconds to go. And it was very concerning that they weren't able to break the Mick Cronin press toward the end. That's the very Mick Cronin teams. Like, they're not done till the fat lady sings. Like, they're not ever. That's one thing about them. And to get that win over UCLA team, that's whenever you're playing Mick Cronin team post mid-January, they're peaking every time. That's when they're playing their best ball, getting into down the stretch where they're trying to make the tournament and get in and make some damage. Like that UCLA team, when they get Sky Clark back, is going to be a dangerous team in March. And yeah, we had to take care of business with Sky Clark being out. He's one of the best two-way players in the conference. And great win. We got the back end of the LA road trip tonight against USC. We talked about if they're able to get a sweep on that LA road trip, we're in business for the tournament. Full on, especially after the Purdue win. And so, huge win. 1-0 historically in Pauley Pavilion for Indiana, which is great to hear. It's actually amazing that they never played like any sort of home-and-home action or something like that. It's kind of crazy considering how prestigious those schools are and how great of a color matchup that would be, like the blue on red. Like, come on now. How did that not get scheduled up until they joined the same conference? And it was really cool to kind of see those two teams on my second favorite court in college basketball. My favorite court is actually Assembly Hall. I think those two schools have the best courts aesthetically in the country. I don't even think it's close. That Indiana, that white watermarked tile with the Indiana State logo in the middle, and then UCLA obviously with the circle. UCLA that has been the same logo basically since the wooden days all the way up until now. They had a little stretch where they renovated the Pauley Pavilion. They put that big old fat UCLA script in the middle. It looked horrible, and they got rid of it so fast. But anyways, it was a great win. Definitely sets them up for success in the driver's seat for a Big Ten for NCAA tournament berth, as long as they take care of business. Don't lose any games they shouldn't lose. Win your home games. Maybe get the win at home against Michigan State. Should be in, period. Get the win tonight. Should be in a good spot to make the tournament. And like we said, this Indiana team makes the tournament with their ability to shoot the ball, their effort on defense. They're also going to be a tough outcome March. They just will. Now, there's a big talent gap with the top 20 teams with this new NIL era, like these Dukes and these Arizonas and these Illinois and these Michigans. They are loaded. They are loaded, and Indiana just point blank isn't there. But here's the hope. College hoops, at the end of the day, is just kids shooting hoops, And, you get them for 40 minutes, shit can go down, and you always got a shot. So, I'm just excited to keep rooting on this team and seeing how much damage we can pull and seeing what this first year of DeVries ball club can take care of business. But man, what I think the biggest takeaway is what a building block Nick Dorn's going to be for next year. I think him emerging is really going to attract not just DeVries being a great coach, but having a piece already there like Nick Dorn with a Sisley and a Josiah Miles, going to be strong bench pieces for next year's team. I think can attract a lot of talent to build a really good squad for next year. And I already called my shot. 2027, going to the Sweet 16 at least.
I love it. We got a bunch of smoke to get to, but Brad, you're right. Indiana goes for its fourth straight quad one win tonight and its third straight Peacock game. So hopefully no more late starts, no more Peacock games after this. But that's why we're going to try and be done. I say 10 o'clock hard stop, but we're going to run the entire transfer portal. So, and the class of 26. So I don't know. We'll see. But I love it. That's Brad on basketball. The battle for Brad, won by the Indiana Hoosiers.
I could talk for hours about those two teams.
I know. That's why I need to cut you off. Let's talk about the smoke. How about Kalon Black, Brad?
Wow, just in breaking news. I'm breaking news. Indiana hiring Tino Sinceri's quarterbacks coach, Pete Thamel.
Oh, we were wrong.
I was wrong.
They did bring him back. Let's go.
Well, it's funny because I got a text from a buddy who sent it to me. He was like, "You called it."
Let's go.
Because I did say earlier, I was like, Tino is probably the first name that comes to mind. Like, I don't know, but like at the end of all, like I'm just not looking. I'm just not looking at any other candidates. Tino's just the guy that pops into my mind. It just makes he needs a job, and we have a job, and he's done our job before and at a high level. And yeah, excited to what's his moniker? Sniper
mentality, baby. We are back. We are so back. Oh my God. I'm pumped. I am pumped. I'm glad we didn't speculate a lot. I didn't think like we literally actually you could literally rewind it 20 minutes ago. And Brad and I just talked about the fact that we didn't think it was going to be Tino because of the fact that like it just didn't. I don't know, but I guess sometimes when it makes the most sense, it makes the most sense. And like, yeah, we're obviously huge fans of his ability to not only coach the quarterback position, but recruit and his standing as a recruiter in the college football industry. And so, yes, that's somebody who's familiar with the coaching staff, who's familiar with the guys they were recruiting. Like he was there when they brought in Cherry. He was, I'm sure, had something to do with Jacob Bell. And like I said, like, he was a part of that James Madison staff, like 4 or 5 years with those guys. So that's a huge hire. Again, made the most possible sense. The word you kept hearing around it was Indiana's going to figure this one out quickly. That's about as quick as it gets. That is
any quicker than that. It's like 3 hours, damn near, of the Chandler Whitmer news.
That is incredible. Wait, where are you seeing that? Because I'm not seeing that yet. Yep, that was quick. Here it is.
I just saw your tweet about the fans speculating Philip Rivers for the quarterback.
It's so funny.
That would have been my second name. I would have thought of Philip Rivers.
That would have been so funny.
But that's also a guy taking NFL head coaching interviews right now. Like, I don't know.
I know.
That would be kind of a good stepping stone for him for sure. But I don't know. I feel like he wants to kind of stay home. And
I'm pumped it's Tino. Wow, I'm so happy that just happened. I'm so happy it's Tino. It sucked when he left. I got to be honest.
Yeah, no, we're always big fans of Tino. I think fans possibly over speculated and dramatized him leaving, and if it left any ill will. I don't think it ever does, right? Like coaching is you have to take the UCLA OC job, and Sig knows that. If you're a quarterbacks coach, you get an OC offer, Power 4, you got to take it. Period. That's what's best for you, right? And Signetti understands that, and I don't think there was ever any ill will between those two. And I think Sig couldn't. I think it was just took one phone call and we're back. Boom.
But my
would have been tricky if UCLA had a great year, and like let's say they went like they figured it out, right? And they had a great year, and they were clicking from the jump. Right. Another name that would have been really fun would have been Jerry Neuheisel to bring in a quarterback coach. I'm just saying. Can
we super speculate for a second?
Yeah.
Would it make sense for like? I don't want to say that.
Let's just say those are the candidates. Let's just say the candidates were Tino, Philip Rivers, and Jerry Neuheisel. Let's just call.
No, I want to go back even farther. I want to say that like Tino gets the UCLA call. It's like, do I take this job? And it's like, that guy might get fired in a year, but that would be unbelievable experience. We'll go get. I don't want to. That would be a whole lot of planning. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think there was ever. I think the chips just fell where they were. And it just kind of worked out.
That makes more sense. I can't even put together a conspiracy theory without like saying that Indiana knew Mendoza was coming in like September. You know what I mean? Like this is
there's no conspiracy. Sometimes things just happen.
That's what I'm saying. There is no. I can't even put it together. But yeah, that's awesome. I love the fact that just broke live.
Yeah. Broke by me of all people. That's crazy.
Broke by that is crazy.
Yeah, I never do that.
Do you have a Tino Sinceri? I was gonna say, do you want to? We can't. It's not even like we can talk about like what is this? What's the impact? Like, we know what it's gonna look like with Tino. Like, it's gonna be business as usual.
Mentality. I think it's gonna be a great fit for Josh Hoover. I think it builds immediate trust in that. Hey, like this guy brought Curtis Rourke to top 10 Heisman voting. Like,
sure, well, he's also worked with like, I guess Hoover's not really a runner. I don't know.
We'll worked with Nico Iamaleava. He figured it out to the end there. Like, you can't tell me that Tino didn't have some impact on the kid, right? He's a super talented quarterbacks coach. Produced 3 conference play of the years back at James Madison. Took Curtis Rourke to new heights in terms of basically becoming a Heisman semifinalist, getting in the top 10 there. Yeah, great hire. Home run hire by the Hoosiers once again. Bang.
And like we said, an elite recruiter. Home run hire. Unbelievable. Let's talk about Kaelon Black, Brad. Senior Bowl, stock riser, Kaelon Black. We talked about last week how it was insane that he was even participating in the Senior Bowl, but very clearly anybody who watches that kid play football, you're around him, his energy is infectious. No surprises at all. His stock was rising. What did you think?
Wasn't surprised one bit that he was there. He's the biggest psychomaniac on the team. Probably even more than Aiden Fisher. He was one of the biggest vocal leaders. Kid that just loves ball, very similar to like Jalen Walker type vibes, where it's like, I just love football. You know, I'm just gonna play as much football as I can. That's a guy who understands kind of where he came from. He's from the mud. Like, I'm just saying that from a sense where he's under recruited, overlooked, went through a lot injury wise. He's not going to leave anything on the table when it comes to his professional career, and that's why he entered the Senior Bowl. And as he should, like all the guys that are heading into the NFL draft process, like that's probably the guy that needed to kind of show himself with pads against other seniors and trying to just show him like, hey, like I wasn't just a guy that benefited from a great Indiana scheme, and you know I'm a little older, and it wasn't just because of that. It's because I'm a better football player than all these guys. And I think he showed that, you know, with running backs not having as long of a life. I think it almost benefits him that he's a little older, and that it's like, okay, this is a guy that we'll have on rookie contract for 4 years under our team. And I think he basically got himself a draft pick by going there, just by showing up. You know, I think it's what happened, right? I think he literally got himself drafted just by showing up to there, and obviously he flourished as he should. He was the RB1-2, RB1B on a national.
I think you could argue he was 1A even at the end of the year.
On the stretch, like I told you, man, down the stretch, it was like, man, it's really nice to have a 25-year-old running back against Ohio State. It just is. It really helped us down the stretch, and you know, because he could take those hits better than a Roman Hemby can. Not saying Roman isn't NFL ready and that he's not capable. It's just like he's more built for being that bell cow in that situation for us. And yeah, I think he got himself drafted. Congrats to Kaelon. Excited to hear his name on draft day, on day 3 most likely, but we'll hear his name being called, which is super exciting for him. Shout out 8-Ball.
I remember calling him. I remember putting out like 8 is great on the timeline with the 8-ball emoji, and everybody was like, why are you talking about cocaine? And I was like, what are you talking? So
people don't really have to have innocent keys, guys. Like, you gotta lay off him on that shit. He's not throwing cocaine sling out there on the Twitter timeline. I promise you that.
It's so funny. Speaking of really nice things, and this is actually a really nice thing on the Twitter timeline, Bob Kaiser, I believe that was Heath's dad. Oh, yeah, it is. He posted, my son wrote a really beautiful message to Heath about like being a walk-on and sticking through and culture and all that stuff. So definitely go check that out. I don't know if you were able to see that, Brad.
I don't know who you're talking about, to be quite honest. Kaiser?
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
The walk-on.
Oh, Heath Kaiser.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. He's not on my depth chart. I don't know.
It was a really nice message, Brad. Go check it out.
I'm sure it was great. I don't know. You're more in tune. This is why this is live reaction. This is how you guys know that this is live reaction. Keisha just throws stuff at me, and then it's like, I gotta react, you know, and that's my reaction. I don't know who that is.
You're giving away the secrets of the show, Brad. No, this is all scripted. Fernando Mendoza joins Derrick Henry, Joe Burrow, Devonta Smith as the only Heisman winners to win a national championship.
That's a short list because there was a Heisman curse where Heisman winners didn't win their bowl game, and obviously in much of that era, like Heisman winners wouldn't even necessarily be in the national title game. Right. So I can see why it was a short list. Very short. Can you read the list one more time? I just want to hear it.
Derrick Henry, Joe Burrow, Devonta Smith, and now Fernando Mendoza.
All those guys, all three of those, not named Fernando Mendoza, pretty strong pillars in the NFL. All second contract guys, all successful contributors. I think that bodes well for him.
Yeah, I think that bodes well for them. One thing that bodes well for Indiana, Brad, is having massive junior days, and that's what happened this past weekend. A bunch of highly touted prospects on campus, and hilariously enough, the only commit to come out of the weekend was quote-unquote 0-star offensive tackle Jeremiah Jones out of Michigan City. People were freaking out. Like, I can't believe there was a 0-star recruit. And like, it's funny enough, if you go check his 24/7 profile right now, I believe he has 3 stars, which is hilarious. Goes to show you that
they don't know jack shit.
They don't know what they're looking at. But I can tell you, and it's funny listening to Jamie Jordan and our buddy Trent over at Kirkwood and Dunn. They talked about the recruiting class, and they gave props to me, pointing out the fact that when Bob Bostad and Kurt Signetti lock eyes on a prospect and say, this is one of our guys, and they give one of those coveted Indiana offers out and say, like, you can come and take a roster spot, that is all we need to know about an offensive lineman. Like, when you get that kind of cosign from this coaching staff, you could have 1,000 stars, you could have negative 150 stars, but you turn on the huddle with this kid, Brad, and he's climbing to the second level. He's going up and he's finding safeties. He's finishing blocks. He's 6'6", 275, room to grow. Like, it doesn't take long to figure out why they liked this kid so much.
Yeah, great tackle body, first off. Last 0-star to take a commitment from Indiana was Elijah Hardy. You could argue he's the best player on this roster this upcoming year. Honestly, I'm not even going to argue. He is the best player on this roster this upcoming year. Great commitment. It goes to show you that all these recruiting sites, they don't know jack shit. Signetti's staff has never, ever, ever, ever looked at stars. I know they're bringing in a bunch of 4 or 5 stars because they have more access to better players that they want, right? And they're able to bring those guys onto campus now. Like, that wasn't a thing. They weren't able to get everyone on campus before. They were able to get their guys. They weren't able to get all their guys. Now that's going to start becoming a thing, and they're still doing their process, right? They're going through tape. They're evaluating the way they want to, the way they do it, and and Jeremiah Jones is probably going to be a starting tackle in Indiana in 3 years. Promise you. And
I'm telling you, like, his tape is hilarious.
Just going to be another great story of a guy. He won't have that story like, oh, he's a 0-star recruit because he got this 3-star after the Indiana commitments, kind of ruining it all, right? And it was overlooked. We talk about how this team's going to continue to find its edge. Like, Jeremiah Jones is going to have plenty of edge. I promise you, when he gets on campus, it's going to be great for his development. Throw 25 pounds on him. That's your left tackle for the future. Can't wait. Great name too, Double J's, JJ. Let's go. Can't wait to see him flourish. All these, with these recruiting sites, I don't know if they better get with the times where it's like going to be with Indiana. I have a lot of thoughts on this. With Indiana kind of winning the title, I think a lot of teams are getting on the same boat where it's like, hey, we got to value the portal a little bit more than maybe high school recruiting. And you've even thrown out theories in our group chats, like who's going to be the feeder, right? Like, who are these? Like, are all these 5-star?
My favorite theory. This is my favorite running theory.
4-star high school kids that were once getting 10 mil out of high school, and and then it's like none of them are like flourishing at like the level that you're expecting, right? Like, there's a few, there's outliers out there, right? Guys that are able to come out of high school and produce right away. Like Malachi Tony comes to mind. DeCorian Moore comes to mind. Bryce Underwood was fine, right? Like, he wasn't, but I think that the veteran experience is going to weigh a lot more for teams moving forward than bringing in the top freshmen. I think there's a lot of fan bases out there that are still, a lot of those fan bases like this be like, oh, they just got Indiana's offensive coordinator and they're gonna be back to irrelevancy. Like, they don't know jack shit. Whitmer wasn't calling plays like that. These stars just don't matter. Like if you're yes, freshmen can come in and play right away. It's possible, right? And you can find those guys and bring them in, but for the most part, the veteran guys are going to play. Like I would rather play a 23-year-old than a 19-year-old. Like I think that just makes sense, right? Like I know, as talented as he may be, like I'm taking the 23-year-old. I just am. Like that's 3 extra off seasons in a college weight room that he has over that kid. Like that's just the facts. And I don't know. I'm not going to like call for the relevancy of an on 3 or 24/7, but like there's going to be more emphasis on the portal more so than these high school level recruiting, which high school recruiting will still matter. You got to build the foundation. We're going to go through this Indiana roster all off season. Great foundation of lots of freshmen, young talent. A lot of these guys were 3 stars, and they're on the best program in the country. So that tells you all you need to know about how much these stars matter. Like if they were all that bad, if they were all 3 stars and they could upgrade them to the 4 or 5 stars, like don't you think they would just let them leave and pick and choose all these 4 or 5 stars, start tampering and taking all these guys in? No, they're not. They're sticking with their guys, they're sticking with the program, and they're just going to develop as they normally do. Guys that got the right stuff, that's what matters more so than any sort of physical talent, because some guys are just early bloomers. Like I don't want to call certain kids out, but like there was a 5-star linebacker that came out one day from Upland High School. I'm not going to name his name. Went to Oregon, ended up having to transfer to Arizona, and just didn't really have the career that a lot of people were expecting. The reason is he was a freaking man-child in high school, and he didn't really have to grow. He wasn't able to grow any more than he was from high school. He's just, by the time he's a junior, like he's just another, like when he gets to college, he's just another guy who's 6'3", 230. Like there's so many of those guys out there. Like it just doesn't, once you're on a college campus, your star rating doesn't matter. It's the same thing in NFL. You're a 1st-round pick, 7th-round pick, undrafted guy. Once you're in training camp, it's fucking who gives a shit? Who's making the roster, right? Like that's all that matters. And I think people lose sight of that. That's what football's always been about, is the true team game, your ability to develop, the ability to get better day after day after day, and who's doing that the most. And yeah, it's just almost impossible to pick which 18, 19-year-old is going to be, the future 1st-round pick. It's impossible to predict that stuff. That's why it goes back to my theory. Players develop players, not programs, not coaches. It's players. Who's got the right stuff? Who's going to put in the work? Who's going to bet on themselves? Who's going to have a chip on their shoulder? Who's going to do the extra shit? Who's going to take care of their diet? You can't evaluate that stuff. You got to talk to the kid and learn about them, and then see if he's the right fit for your program. Period. And this freshman recruiting is just going to become less and less. And you're going to see less money thrown at freshmen and more money thrown at veteran guys. And that's just what's going to happen. That's going to be the new shift. That's how college football is going to change. It's going to be for the better. Like I wouldn't want, as enticing as it would be, if I had an 18-year-old highly touted recruit coming in, I want him to go to the best program. I don't care what money is being thrown at him. I want him to be in the best situation he can be in terms of getting the best out of him, right? Like, I feel like people are trying to get money grabs now, and I think there's a lot of bad agents out there trying to, muck up the whole thing and giving kids bad, advice and things like that. Like all it comes down to are you going to put in the extra work? Like that's where your money's going to come in. It's not going to come from a paycheck that you get out of high school. It's going to be the money that you get when you get to the league. That's period. Like there's so many life lessons being lost from football with all this NIL and portal stuff where people are trying to get money.
Now you sound like get off my lawn type. Like anyway, I enjoy the overarching theme of what you're saying. I do. I want to clarify the theory and the idea that I've been putting forth is that some lower level like MAC school is going to become like the German soccer team of college football and like recruit a bunch of figure out a way to partner with like a university. So say like Miami of Ohio and Ohio State, right? They're like, okay, cool. Like we'll just play 12 5-stars for 2 years and then transfer up and we'll get a piece of whatever, like a sell-on clause type of, I don't know. We're a long way from there, but I think that would be hilarious and a really interesting way to try and compete in modern college football if you don't have the budget to challenge a team like an Ohio State or even do what an Indiana did. And because you need a budget to be able to do what Indiana did because we went and took an entire coaching staff.
Yeah. Whenever I see like these blue blood fan bases arguing over who has the better freshman class, I just laugh because that shit don't even fucking matter. Like, it just doesn't. Like,
Especially with the portal, and you can jump. Like,
it
it's
doesn't matter. None of it.
and it's even when somebody commits, like when somebody commits in the class of 2027, like nothing's official until they sign on the dotted line in December of this year.
Well, yeah, that like it's important to build your freshman class, right? But you just gotta make sure you have the right guys. Like,
No, 100%.
the fact that you're banking on these guys, like, oh, we got a top 5 high school recruiting class coming in, and we're gonna be so back. It's like, yeah, maybe in 3 years, maybe we'll see how many of those guys stick around, how many of those guys pan out.
Exactly.
I just don't buy it. It's just yeah, it's interesting it'll be interesting to follow and see if my theory is correct about, the more I hope more schools out there keep and their boosters are like, we guys to keep getting the top freshman class, we gotta, because a lot of that comes from the boosters. We're like, we didn't have a top 20 recruiting class. What the hell's going on over there? My head coach at Oklahoma or Mississippi State or whatever the fuck. Like, it's all booster. Like, these boosters who pay the salaries of a lot of these coaches are like putting pressure on them to get sign these 4 or 5 stars. And it's like, that's not the way. It's not. Yeah, it could work, right? But I mean, I remember, I don't know. I've seen plenty of teams that had plenty of NFL talent not fall through because, you got to have a complete roster. That's the more important thing. Got to have 11 guys doing their jobs. Fast, physical, relentless, smart, disciplined, poised. And I think people are missing that piece of it, and people are going to try to replicate it. I think JD Pickle or Jake Butt actually was the one who said this, where a lot of people are going to try to replicate what Indiana's done. And the reality is you won't be able to because Indiana has it and you don't. I mean, you can get close and you might even win a national title. You might be able to knock off Indiana, but in terms of year after year after year, being able to stick with the process and the program, and I mean, we got it. We got the gold standard of what post NIL, post transfer portal football is going to look like. And everyone's going to try to replicate it. Good news for us is that we're ahead of the game because we set it. We set the standard.
Set the pace, maintain it, Brad. You know where's a much better place to put your money than freshman recruiting nowadays?
Where?
Into Indiana football posters. Because if you didn't get a chance to make it to Bloomington and go pick up one of the posters, or you liked a particular poster and weren't able to get your hands on it, the artist, John Terzini, is selling each poster. So you can check out hometownriot.com. All of the posters from this year, if you had a personal favorite. I like the Oregon ones. The Natty one would be one. Oh my God, that's what I forgot. And my Indiana football action plan, I posted it on Twitter, but my IFAP came. I have a physical copy of the IFAP. And so shout out to B-Town Moose for that. That is so pumped for that. It's a memory I'll cherish forever. And I cannot believe I don't have it sitting next to me right now. That's but I put up a picture on Twitter. You can go check that out. But yeah, you can go check out the posters. Pick them out. They're selling them with frames, without frames, and I don't know, but they're just awesome. So support the artist. He does great work. So if you're interested, check that out. Brad, Fernando Mendoza.
By the way,
What'd you say?
Love those posters, by the way.
Oh, they're elite every single year.
Mm-hmm.
Fernando Mendoza is still picking up awards, Brad. He won the Manning Award. The most hilarious quote to come out of that was that he said he was now addicted to success. It's just the Raiders are like they can't even hide it. Like, he's gonna be a Raider. Like, they just hired Clint Kubiak, which like I get quick thoughts on that now. But pairing Mendoza with Kubiak, I'm just like, all of the success already going that guy's way. To now looks like that franchise is gonna build around him in the right way, and they went and they got the best head coaching candidate they possibly could. Thoughts on Clint Kubiak pairing with Mendoza?
Great hire. Good to get an offensive mind with your future franchise quarterback. In theory, that's the direction they go. Still got to fix that O-line. That O-line is a big issue. Second most sacks in the NFL, given up in the last 2 years. Most sacks given up in the NFL this past year. They got to fix it. It's not going to do Mendoza any favors. I would hate to start a narrative where Mendoza's a bust when it's all because, the rest of the team isn't necessarily doing their jobs. There always has to be a loser. There always has to be an ass in the NFL at any given point. That's usually around the teams, right? Who's, and that has been the Raiders or the Browns or the past few years, right? And Browns didn't find success until they figured out that O-line when they had Zietler and all those guys on the team, and they really got that first playoff win in a long time. They blew it all up, and look where they're back. They're back to irrelevancy again. It's like you got to set up him for success, and it all starts with the O-line. Like, I'm almost at a point where it's like, yeah, he's gonna go to the Raiders. It's probably what's gonna happen, but like, if I'm the Raiders GM, let's get fucking trade back and get the best tackle. Like, what are we doing here? Like, we're not ready for a quarterback. You know what I mean? Like,
you're out of your mind. No.
I know.
No.
You'll say I'm out of my mind, but I'm also right.
No. I think you can take Fernando and then not play him this year. I think that should be like, I think every rookie quarterback should sit their first year. But no, I think it would be foolish to pass on him. I think he's the most can't miss quarterback prospect that's come out.
It wasn't a knock on Mendoza.
Arguably since Burrow, but maybe even past that. Like his process, his preparation, the way he brings guys together, it's like he does all the things you can't teach, and all the things you can teach, he can learn them. Like, it is, to me, he is the no-brainer. If this guy's passed up, I cannot believe that the Jets sent a contingent out to see him in Bloomington, not once, but multiple times went to see him, and then went and won football games after that. Like, incompetent franchise, and the fact that it's like you have the Raiders, but it's Brady at the top now, along with Mark Davis. I think Spytech is the name of the GM, or Spy, or whatever the name of the GM is, who the players really like. And then the head coach is one of the best offensive minds in the sport right now. I think that sets him up for success. Now I'm with you, build the offensive line, but by no means am I like trading out of this pick to get away from him. Absolutely not. I'm getting that guy in my building as quickly as possible, and he's the guy. It's like, look at Patrick Mahomes. He wasn't the number 1 overall pick, but he was the 10th pick. And then everybody knew it was going to be his team at some point. He sat for a year.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that.
Also, we're already winning playoff games or going to the playoffs with Alex Smith, and had 100%. a system around Patrick Mahomes that was basically plug and play for him right away. And yeah, I think sitting a year definitely works. A lot of guys out there love Mahomes.
Rogers.
Plenty of guys done that and succeeded. And yeah, could be a good play for him. But I think Raiders are at a point where they have to, Lamar. A lot of players, have to play. And if he goes to the Raiders, it's probably going to be a situation, probably going to have to play. And yeah, and I mean, just look at Sam Darnold, right? Like, I think that's the perfect story of kind of what I'm trying to avoid for Mendoza, but honestly, it's starting to work out for Darnold. So wouldn't be the worst thing for him, right? If he has to go through some trials and tribulations with the Raiders and maybe find a second home, or maybe the Raiders figure it out and he rises like a phoenix from the ashes and revives his career. And in reality, he never was bad. He just had a bad team. That's just how it goes in the NFL. So that's the point I'm trying to make. I just hope the best for Fernando, and I'm very protective of him, and I don't want him to be they can get pretty nasty online. I know he doesn't go online, but it can get nasty. And I think a lot of people would have. I just don't want the narrative being, let's get pitchforks and torches and let's get Fernando run him out of town. Like, if he's put in that situation, I think there's 31 other teams that would definitely evaluate him and look at him as like, okay, let's bring that guy in. Like, I don't think they want to get rid of him. And Sean McVay's like, oh, Stafford's retiring. They want to get rid of Mendoza. Like, let's give him a 2nd round pick for him. Like, oh, why not? Like, fuck. Like, hope him the best. I think it's going to be a good fit. I think Clinton Kubiak's going to set him up for success early on, and it just matters what they do with that personnel-wise. They can scheme out of a lot of that O-line issues, right? And, maybe Kubiak can fix some of that as well. And, yeah, it's a great hire, and I hope Mendoza's the best, and that's probably where he's going to end up.
He's absolutely ending up there. No doubt in my mind. Elijah Surratt is now the best offensive senior in college football at 26. He's a 94 overall.
That's cool. As he should.
The College Sports Commission made headlines this week and then did absolutely nothing when they announced a probe into LSU for potentially misreporting NIL deals, and then announced that there was a giant misunderstanding and there were no wrongdoings.
That's
how that ended, by the way.
How much money did they pay him?
That's what I'm saying. Like I almost posted like the giant misunderstanding with no wrongdoings, and then a giant briefcase with a bunch of money in it. Like, oh, here was the misunderstanding. It's like, oh my god, like I can't believe, because I went back and I was like, all right, maybe I just, when I saw the headline, the initial like CSC College Sports Commission opens up inquiry into LSU, that like maybe I overreacted. No, like every single reaction was like, holy shit, look at what just happened. Monumental moment. Like this could be a landmark. We'll see. And then it was like 3 days later, like nothing. It was absolute slap on the wrist. Nobody's even it's to the point where like I'm convinced, Brad, that people are avoiding it because they're just too embarrassed to like re-bring it back up. Like there's no point in rehashing what we all thought it was going to be, because it was an absolute nothing. So I don't know where that leaves the College Sports Commission, and I don't even know. Like I don't even know if you can have thoughts on it, because nothing happened.
I don't know anything.
Nothing happened.
Yeah, we can insinuate that maybe there's some money thrown under the table to get rid of their issues, like the NCAA out of the fold. Like there's no real guidelines to any of this shit, so we gotta like fix it. Like I said, throw my hat in the ring again. College football commissioner.
I don't know if you could be commissioner, but maybe you could try and work your way onto like a Josh Pate style ticket.
Something like that. Yeah, I mean, I would need all hands on deck. Like I would loop in a Josh Pate. Like that's a guy who knows the ins and outs of college football recruiting pretty well, actually. JD Pickles,
he would be on your ticket?
JD Pickles, my second call.
So you're right in the
I'm bringing in the Cornell guy. I'm ruining hands. That's why I should be the commissioner, because I'm of egoless delegation toward certain roles, and I know where to find the smart people, the people that care about the sport, know what's important, and just wants what's best for the fans and the players and the coaches, because that's all that matters, right? And I feel like I can get the job done. I would just need to bring the right people on board for it. I have a lot of people in mind that I would want on my committee, on my C-suite.
Am I in that? Am I in your C-suite, Brad?
You're on the long list for
That's
sure.
Tough.
I don't have biases, brother. I don't.
That's tough.
You're on it though.
Yikes. We'll move on. There was a bite-sized Bison tweet about Kamara's pressure rate.
I think you should continue being the voice of Indiana football. That's what you should be doing. You're destined for this shit, man.
We already climbed the mountain, Brad. I don't even. They don't need me. I'll tell you that. They definitely don't need me.
That's fair.
There was a bite-sized Bison tweet detailing Kamara's pressure rate throughout his career. It actually jumped from the Sun Belt to the Big Ten. It was at 10.3 at James Madison, 10.3% at IU. Kamara's pressure rate was 17%.
Crazy development.
Absolutely insane. Illinois staff keeps getting picked apart.
Buda Williams.
Absolutely. Great shout out, Brad. Illinois staff keeps getting picked apart, which is kind of hilarious. Their defensive coordinator is now going to be the Notre Dame defensive backs coach. Their special teams coordinator is now the Ohio State special teams coordinator. Those guys are great coaches in their own right. It is just funny to think about the fact that Indiana stuffed Illinois in a locker and embarrassed both of those units in particular, and then two fan bases that we've had quarrels with in the past are celebrating those hires as great hires, as they should. And you think about, like I just said, what Indiana did to both of those units last time they played. Funny stuff.
Mm-hmm. Hilarious. We're the boogeyman. You know, I'm not scared of anyone. Never daunted. Yeah, you can have all your fun with your new coaches and your 5 stars and your 4 stars. You can have all you want. You know, you can look good on paper, but when it comes between that 120-yard by 52.5-yard rectangle with some hashes and some white lines on it, you better buckle your chin strap a little extra tight when you're playing the Hoosiers. So be ready.
You know who wasn't daunted, Brad? No, Fernando Mendoza, when he went on Sunday Conversation with Caleb Presley and Glenny Balls.
That was awesome.
Which was incredible. Awesome. Absolutely incredible performance. if you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. We got a Fernando Mendoza, Kurt Signetti impression, among other things. And it's just like another thing that people saw what they were shown with Fernando Mendoza, especially early on in his time at Indiana, where he was very protected in terms of what he said to the media and what I don't want to say they allowed, or what he was allowing out about his personality. And as the season has progressed, as they've won more, and as the season has ended, we've seen this whole different side of Fernando Mendoza's personality that you can assume is there because the guys in the locker room like him so much. But like, even from like the little Uzi stuff with the national championship and like the Sunday conversation thing, is like, that's something I never thought I would see him do after watching him sit down with Nicole Auerbach and talk about him and Alberto selling mangoes. But it makes a lot of sense, in another unbelievably entertaining spot for Fernando, and just another way to endear him to the people.
100%. Fernando's circle, aka his representation, his marketing team, doing a fantastic job. Should be the standard in terms of how you handle college athletes in terms of this NIL representation era, right? Where they have agents at the college level now. Fantastic job where he's super marketable, so it makes their jobs a lot easier, winning the Heisman and, being just a great kid that's impossible to root against. They deserve, more clients and I'm sure whoever they are. I didn't look too deep into who these people are and who's representing Mendoza, but whoever those people are, like, if you want your kid to get represented, that's probably a good team to try to get introduced to.
It's the Indiana football Hoosiers, Brad. Something that wasn't good that came out over the last week, Nick Marsh's Twitter account got hacked. So if you didn't see the tweet from his mother, Mamatron, or get a random message from his account that looks super sketchy, don't click on any links. When that's resolved, something will be on the timeline, I'm sure. JMU Sports News, which was the account going crazy during their Oregon week, chose us when he announced that Kurt Signetti's basketball introduction speech was better than Bob Chesney's. So that was big time.
Yeah, Bob Chesney wants to be so bad. Let's move on.
It wasn't great. A Signetti did get hired by the Pittsburgh Steelers. It just wasn't Kurt Signetti. Frank Signetti Jr. got hired by the Steelers to be the quarterback's coach.
Keep it in the family. Why not have a Signetti on your staff? Why not?
Literally. Indiana football. There was a post by Indiana Football Recruiting that talked about Indiana's point differential. I think it was like 497. The next closest was like 50 points. And talked about being the first undefeated 16-0 undefeated team since Yale, and having a plus 22 turnover margin. So your tweet, Brad, really liked your tweet. Thought that was good stuff.
Yeah, 11. You saw the numbers. Belt to ass all season. Team brings back 11 starters plus Tyler Morris and BB back from injury. They bring in a top 10 transfer class, which is way more important than any sort of. Obviously, the ratings don't matter, but a great transfer class, tons of production throughout, top to bottom, and they're just reloading, and they bring back half of those starters from that team. So like I said, we're the boogeyman, and better buckle your chin straps up extra tight, or else because they're looking to win by 500 again this year. Tell you that. I did the depth chart. I upgraded, put it on a Google sheet. No more handwritten. I'll always keep the 2025 handwritten depth chart. But, it's better to have access to heights and weights and years and numbers and things like that. And obviously that stuff will be updated as spring rosters and fall rosters get published. And I'll keep it updated. But, we're big takeaway from writing down the depth chart is that we are loaded again. I say that. Keep it short and sweet for you.
We're closing in on the end of the smoke here, Brad, because we're going to get into the transfer portal. But I'll close it out quickly. There's new heat from Bison Drop. I don't know if you've seen it, but the social drop this week is confetti from the field. I had a tweet out there, so if you see it, like it. But in my personal opinion, I hope Respectable Adam wins. That'd be really cool. I've been liking his stuff about it all week. But if you think you got some heat, if you got a better idea than mine or Respectable Adams or whatnot, drop some heat, get in that Bison Drop social drop, and see if you can get that confetti. But also the coolest thing by far to me on the Bison Drop site right now isn't even the Kurt Signetti like headset, which is unbelievably cool. But they have a win sign. You know the win sign, Brad, that they hit running out of the locker room.
Our guys,
yeah. We bring one to away games, and they are auctioning off that win sign right now.
Yeah, because we just make another one. It's fine.
I know, but I said like
that's the thing. That's the thing. They put in the work. It's not about the sign. The sign doesn't have magical powers. Like
no, but you're missing the point. You can go bid on the sign, and you can add that sign that the team traveled.
I heard you.
That's exciting stuff. That's really cool. That's the type of stuff I want to see on Bison Drop. Like
that would be a cool addition to any man cave. That'd be so sick. They should honestly just print those bad boys out, just send them out, mass production. Talking supply chain, baby. But anyway, and straight to the NIL fund.
I can't even get them to make the Hunt for the Punt Grant Kane shirt, Brad. So I doubt I'm gonna get, but it's okay.
We'll get there.
And then finally,
you had a lot of influence on some gear getting dropped. So I would just keep at it. You know,
I wrote this out of spite. I wrote short conferences. Addie Nemchek, IU women's basketball commit, named McDonald's All-American because she goes to Red Bank Catholic, which is my old high school's rival. But Indiana women's basketball commit, Addie Nemchek, the first ever McDonald's All-America for Indiana women's basketball. So shout out to Terry Moore and shout out to Addie Nemchek. And yeah, women's basketball is on the upswing, Brad. I know a lot of people are upset with Terry Moore and like we're saying some crazy things on the timeline in the last couple of weeks. Let Terry cook. She's fine.
Yeah, let her do her thing. She's earned her job for life. Anyways, back to like my recruiting spiel. 4 or 5 stars don't matter. What does matter, McDonald's All-Americans, all district, all state players of the year, all league. Those are the things that matter. I could give less of a shit about your star rating on some bullshit website that it's all about politics and how much access you give to Greg Biggins. And why did I actually like Greg Biggins? I think he's a true professional. But like, it's not.
What a stray.
It's about.
We apologize to the Biggins family.
The West Coast 24/7 guys. That's just the first guy that came to my head. I've been following Greg Biggins forever. He actually does a great job. Shout out Scott.com back in the day. But it's not. That wasn't even a stray at him. It was just more so like it's very politically biased in terms of how much access these guys get to the players, right? And that's a big reason why maybe Jeremiah Jones wasn't getting the recognition. Like maybe that guy, I'm not going to insinuate things, but maybe he didn't have access to goes to these exposure camps. That happens to a lot of these guys, right? They don't have. Derrick Henry wasn't able to go to all these different camps and stuff, and Saban just luckily found him, right? Like it was like who's this guy who's setting the Alabama State rushing record right now? Who is this guy?
Luckily found this 240-pound monster.
4'5". Holy crap! Let's bring him in. It's like, I don't know. These things, like, what matters more is your accolades and your achievements at the high school level, way more so than whatever site puts stars next to your name. That's what matters more, is those accolades, your team accomplishments, your individual accomplishments, your production, and just getting good shit on tape is what matters. It's not about the star ratings for a quick, little debrief on who's good and who's not, because that's not how life even goes.
I like the spiel.
Not how the world works.
All right. We've been teasing it for almost feels like 2 weeks now because we went in the last episode talking about.
You're gonna trust Tom Luginbill over Lane Kiffin and all these coaches out there, like.
No, we're gonna trust Kurt Cignetti in this Indiana Hoosiers staff. Exactly. We're gonna talk about this transfer portal class, Brad.
Cignetti's the same thing.
Let's talk who's in.
Yeah, let's talk who's in. Let's go.
We're
going some good ass players. They may not have had as many stars as your team, but they're gonna kick your team's ass. I'll tell you that. Let's go.
I love it. This is in, I think, semi-order of when they committed, according to On3. It didn't have like a preference between one or the other, but it just ended up on On3. But obviously, the transfer portal class starts with Josh Hoover, the new quarterback at Indiana University. Brad, I've had some time to look into Josh Hoover. I've heard some things like he's not as mobile as Mendoza. I have my own reservations about how much he's turned over the football based on some of the box score things I've watched. But man, when you watch him throw the football, and I think especially back to this couple times I've seen him live, huge arm, gamer, absolute dude. The guys say the right things about him. And I think it becomes really easy to look at, okay, the last quarterback of Indiana was Fernando Mendoza, and look at what he did and the stats he put up and the way he spoke with the media and all that. And I caution people to look at Josh Hoover as Josh Hoover. Don't try and compare him to Fernando Mendoza. They're different players, different people. That does not mean he's not a leader. It does not mean that he's not an unbelievably talented quarterback with a massive arm that can make all the throws. And his fit is really, really intriguing, especially with the type of offense he's used to running. So, Brad, what are your initial thoughts when it comes to Josh Hoover?
I like Josh Hoover. I think you nailed it right on the head. I think we've already prefaced this, like, to compare anyone. Like, he already has this tough, like, thing for him. He's got to follow up. 16-0 Indiana, Fernando Mendoza. Like, he's got to follow that up. Like, talk about a tall order for you. It's almost like he loses one game. It's like the Sharks are going to be after him. So I just want to. We'll be fine. Trust in Josh. Trust in Signetti. That's what I encourage people to do. Some things, yeah, he's not as maybe physically gifted as Fernando Mendoza. He's not 6'5", 220, can run. Like, he's 6'2", 200, can run, can throw. He's still a little different. He's a different ball player. Thing he does have over Mendoza, 3 years starting experience. Mendoza only had 2 going into his Indiana season. Damn near 1.5. We're going to shoot it straight here. 3 full seasons. The career leader in returning production and passing yards in college football. He's damn near at 10,000 career passing yards. He's like a few yards short of it. Perfect fit for an RPO pro style scheme. Can do a whole lot, can stand in the pocket, can run, probably can, like, with his size, being 6'2" and kind of just a runner, can probably a better fit for the scheme than maybe a Mendoza is. Obviously, the scheme is very adaptable and it works to our strengths. There's a reason why we had so much success with it's funny, like, we went from pure pocket passer and Curtis work to hybrid of that in Fernando. Now we're going pure dual threat with Josh Hoover. And it's like, people see high interceptions. I see gunslinging. Like, that guy is a gamer. Like,
that was my takeaway too.
Yeah. Brett Favre build, absolute stud. Brings lots of experience to the table, more experience than Mendoza brought, and could be a really good leader for this team with all the experience that he brings to the table. He's not going to have Mendoza level intangibles. That's almost impossible to replicate, but he's still going to be a strong leader for the team, being as experienced as he is. Had the Sonny Dykes stamp of approval to play quarterback at TCU for 3 years. Probably a good. Sonny Dykes, one of the best offensive minds in the college game. Has been for a decade. And he had that guy starting for him for 3 years. Didn't kick him to the curb. He clearly trusted him, had a lot of trust in giving him the keys to the program for that long. In this era, doesn't happen too often. So believe in him, trust in him, be uplifting. It's not, it could be a 16-0 season again. Could. Damn well could be. I'm not going to put self-imposed limitation on this team. The reality is, it's hard to win 32 straight games, guys. So let's, stay the course and believe in this kid, because he's fully capable of running this program. And we're going to get, and he was the guy, right away. It was like Hoover, all the rumors, Hoover rumors out right from the jump. And I was very clearly, they wanted him. He wanted us. He was an Indiana commit back in the Tom Allen days, which is crazy. He loves the school clearly enough to commit. Loves Bloomington. I think there's a lot to like here. It's not just some Joe Schmo coming in here, guys. This is we got our guy, and let's just believe in it. It's not going to be the same as last year. This is a brand new team. Half the guys are gone, and we're bringing in half bringing in another new half of the roster to it, and he's got a lot of guys to lean on from the leadership side that we can go over. You know, he's got Bones Jones there. He's got Becker to lean on, and
Carter.
he's got a lot of Carter Smith, like lots
Great
of
range.
guys.
4 or 5 starters back on the offensive line.
Yeah, he's gonna have the best old line in the country blocking for him this year, and yeah, it's gonna be great, perfect fit. We got our guy. He's gonna wear number 10 this upcoming year. It's gonna be great. Let's root for 10.
Yeah, it's funny.
But he will be wearing 10.
I spent like a good 5 minutes being like, don't compare him to Fernando Mendoza. But where you can compare him to Mendoza is any way, shape, or form you want to cut it, a top of the market quarterback by every site, by every account. Like and to your point, the most returning production in the country. Like he's a dude. And so you take his mentality and like you said, gunslinger, I think that's the perfect mentality. Is the dude's got a huge arm. He can make every throw and he's not afraid to let go of the football. I think it becomes really exciting when you put him with these playmakers. And one of the things we didn't even talk about during the smoke was Charlie Becker was I think third best receiver in the FBS the entire season, and like less than one full rating point behind Jeremiah Smith. That's who's coming back.
Yeah, he's gonna have tons of weapons around him. He's gonna be set up for success. Quarterback friendly scheme. They always have the answers to the test for him, so he's gonna be set up for success. And those interception numbers are gonna go down. I'm just telling you, he's not gonna throw 13 picks this upcoming year. And if he does, we might still go 16-0. Like that's how good this team is going to be this next year. So I'm just excited for the ride.
I agree. Brad, before we get into the rest of the transfer class, I want to ask you Alex Francis' question because I'm looking at the class, but you're not. So off the top of your head, Brad, besides Hoover, who are your top 2 transfers already committed on the roster? And then I know you don't have a good enough grip on, because it's hard as hell to find who's still out in the portal. And so it's kind of tough to figure out who's a potential ad that we'd want to look at. But your 2 favorite guys from this portal class, not named Josh Hoover.
Yeah. Joe Brunner. He's going to start at right guard. This upcoming year, the Wisconsin transfer at guard.
Keep it short and sweet because we're going to talk about these guys in a second.
He's the missing puzzle piece. Returning starters. Feels
short
like
and sweet, Brad.
Brought in the guy. Boom. All of a sudden, best O-line in the country. Bang. Second guy, Toby Osunusami. I'm gonna nail this down. Osunami. Osunsanmi. I mean, I like all those edge guys. I think all of a sudden we have the best edge pass rush in the country. Low key. Yeah, he's gonna be a stud. Can't wait.
Yeah, I like. If I was going to answer that question, it's just picking 2 guys that aren't getting talked about enough, I guess, or talked about that much. Joe Higeli, the defensive tackle from Tulsa.
Actually, I looked this up. It's Yelly.
It's Yelly? Joe Yelly?
Joe Yelly.
Sweet. I'm glad. I appreciate the live stat correction. Yelly, and then Joshua Burnham, another one of those edges that Brad was talking about. But let's go deeper into this class, Brad. Because you're our receiver guy on this show, so I just want to give you some time to talk about Nick Marsh.
Oh my God. I can't. As soon as he hit the portal, I was like, we're going to get this guy. There is no way you can watch his tape and be like, we cannot not have him. You know, like Becker's going to be wide receiver 2 on this team. That's crazy because Nick Marsh, 2 first-round guys now with Nick Marsh, Charlie Becker, true juniors. Yeah, I don't know if there's any better receiver duo going into the country this next year. Now that we got this Nick Marsh guy, literally, Elijah Surratt with it's crazy to say, but like a little like more athletically gifted than him, therefore making him a more complete receiver. Just going to be so dynamic on the outsides with those 2, Becker and Marsh. What a pairing! I really had to bite my tongue to not name him my favorite guy because I feel like that would have been an easy cop out. Clear the crown jewel of this transfer class. Crown jewel. Getting that guy, absolute stud, came out as a true freshman, very similar to Roman Hemby, came out as a true freshman, productive right away with maybe not even the best offensive scheme, was the entire offense for Michigan State the past 2 years. We got him in a team that likes to spread the wealth. So if you want to double, Marsh, good luck. We got Becker, we got Shaz Preston, we got a lot of other guys too. So it's I super stoked to bring that guy. Excited to see what number he wears. Maybe he wears number 1 this upcoming year. Like he's gonna be a stud. What a pairing brought in with a special talent, likely first-round pick in next year's draft. As a true junior, he's going to finally be draft eligible. Same situation as Charlie Becker. Like, people are going to be talking about this lower receiver class. Two of them are going to be Marsh and Becker, and then they're going to be talking about Jeremiah Smith as the one. The next two probably going to be Marsh and Becker. Like, we're talking real, like, how I'm going to evaluate these receivers going into 2027. Like that, those are my initial gut rankings right there. And we got 2 out of the 3.
Crown jewel of the transfer class, I think, is a great way to put it, because it is funny that you think about a lot, and I keep bringing up parallels to international soccer, but there are always like these, this is the video that made Barcelona by X player, right? And then it's the highlights of that person on their original club, like absolutely destroying the big teams, right? And if you think about Nick Marsh, obliterated us in the first matchup. Now Indiana killed Michigan State, but Nick Marsh had, I believe it was 2 touchdowns. He had the unbelievable first touchdown catch. In the second game also scored. And I think about the one time maybe all year that D'Angelo Pons was visibly frustrated on the football field in terms of like communicating with his teammates. Like, yeah, Nick Marsh is a player that gave our specific team problems, gave a lot of the Big Ten problems. And it's like you said, when he jumped in the transfer portal, it was very hard to not be like, let's go get him now. And who gives a shit what it costs and and like, look at who was on him. Like, he had a Notre Dame visit lined up, Brett. And not only lined up, but it was like the Notre Dame crowd was convinced he was coming, like printed the jersey, like the NIL was flowing, and he didn't even make it off campus. That's the most impressive part about it. And just like, and then you think about like the type of like family we're bringing in, and Mamatron's already been a huge part of Indiana football Twitter, and the vibes couldn't be higher. He was at the Peach Bowl game, I believe, or at the Rose Bowl game, or whichever one of the video of the team running by him in the locker room was incredible. And just, yeah, he's a crown jewel of the transfer class is a great way to put it.
You know what it tells me based on everything you said? Great family, didn't even make it off campus. Tells me he's got the right stuff, and they wouldn't even let him leave. Means he wants to be a winner. He wants to be successful. He's going to fit right into this program. He's not going to be a diva. He's going to block down field. He's going to do the things he needs to do to win football games, and it's going to work out so well for him. He's going to, if he stayed at Michigan State, went anywhere else, he would have been late first round. Now he's going to go top 15 because he went to Indiana, and he's going to make like twice as much money because he made that decision. Good for him.
It's hard not to get.
Glad his mom was on board.
Unbelievably excited.
That's the key to recruiting is the mom. People don't talk about that enough. They don't.
We got great football parents, Brad. We're very lucky. Another. Let's start moving. Let's keep it moving down the class. Preston Zachman, Brad, safety, Wisconsin. Originally a Bob Bosted recruit. I believe he is a 7th-year guy, and he stands out to me as somebody who our guy, Buffton Prime T-Cal, had in his notes about an instinctual play that he made, just like watching film on a different player or watching film on Zachariah Branch, I believe, and just like, who the hell is this safety? Let me write him down, come back to him later. So have you had a chance to look into Zachman?
No, but I already knew about him going into this before he committed. He's a preseason all Big Ten guy on Phil Steele. He's one of the guys I highlighted when I was looking over Wisconsin in the preseason as one of their best players. Like you said, 7th-year guy. When Indiana's all these old guys. Oh, too bad. Anyone could do it. We got him. Preston Zachman. He's going to slot in as a big safety. He's listed at 6'1", 212. He's going to be up to 215 by the time he goes around. Didn't have the season he wanted due to injuries. So got his 7th year. He's gonna be such a good leader for this team. On top of all that, like, he's seen so much football. He's played at a high level. He's gonna get a knock being like, oh, he's this big ass white safety. Like, no, he's got coverage skills. He's got it all. Like, this guy is a complete player. Feels like it's crazy. Like, he's the Lou Moore replacement. It's like, God damn, are we upgrading every position still? Like, fucking hey, man. Like, it's awesome. Preston Zachman. Remember the name. I mean, he's a starter.
You said, I like having adults in the back end, Brad, especially in Amari Farrell is going to be next to him. And there was a great piece about him being a communicator today. And just like, I love just the experience we have in that unit. And another guy they're bringing into that unit, Jaquan Sanks. Every person that I've talked to or everything that I've read about Jaquan Sanks is that he's going to play and So what are your initial thoughts on Sanks?
I believe he's a true junior, which is kind of the crazy thing about him. So the guy that might be a cornerstone for this team moving forward, might be a guy that plays a couple seasons for this program. Going to slot in at starting rover for me. He comes in with a lot of production. Yes, we have Byron Baldwin, and he's fantastic. Like what a luxury we have in the safety room now with Farrell, Sanks, because we play 3 safeties. Remember, with the rover, that's considered a safety spot. So we got Farrell coming back. We got Preston Zachman, Jaquan Sanks, and Byron Baldwin. Holy shit! Oh my god, this guy is gonna be tough task to damn near perfect season from Devin Boykin this past year, but he's got very similar measurables to him as a player. Comes in younger with almost just as much production as Boykin did at this stage in his career. So this is a guy that obviously might have a fantastic year, might go to the league early, but could become a cornerstone piece for this team moving forward and at the rover spot, and almost is like the ideal rover for what in terms of what we're looking for. Coverage skills, can play a little bit of safety, can do a whole lot. Lots of versatility. Common theme with this DB room where they can kind of mix it up and come out with dime packages, and yeah, just super excited. Comes out at Cincinnati, played a lot of power 4 ball, the Big Ten. We like to air it out. Yeah, seems like a guy they went with very quickly. So clearly going to be a starter on this team.
Let's go to one of the guys that you had mentioned, Brad, as somebody who you really enjoyed looking at this class from like 10,000-foot view. Toby Osunsanmi, edge stud, Kansas State. He's got his sack dance, the freeze. But when I look at what Indiana did with this transfer class and starting with Osunsanmi, I immediately think like Dick LeBeau Steelers. I don't know if you get the same thing, but I can't help but not see the one play in Madden where you have like the guys are blitzing and looping and crossing and there's 7 people on the line. You don't know who's coming and people are dropping. And it's just like, there are so many different ways that this Indiana defense can send guys and drop guys and attack the quarterback. And Toby's going to be a massive part of that. So what are your initial reaction to the freeze coming to Bloomington?
Yeah, 6'3", 250, redshirt senior, 5th year. Coming in, lots of production under him, obviously. Going to be a theme with all these guys. Comes in as going to be, seems like common theme is like big end and then stand-up guy. Like he's going to be the Kellen Wyatt, Stephen Daly type guy. Him and Ndukwe are going to be battling it out and probably splitting, rotating in at that role. And he's just another great athlete that we're bringing on that D-line. Like I said, those 4 edge guys, and we'll go more into depth as the season goes on. Like 3 of them are transfers. We're going to talk about 3 of them today. Elite unit. And guess what? The interior D-line is really good too. It's going to be scary stuff for opposing offenses this year. When you got Toby, probably going to be wearing number 44 in your program, but these numbers
which is significant here.
That's George Halifera. I thought he wore 45. Anyways, yeah, but he's going to come in, and yeah, we're going to be rooting for Toby. We don't retire jerseys at Indiana, any sport. So all numbers are on the table at all times. So we'll see, but it's not about the numbers. It's about Toby and him he's going to be that starting D end. He's going to be a great addition to this room and just another freak athlete. He's got the freeze dance for his cellies. He's going to be having at least 10 of those this year.
I agree. The freeze is going quadruple platinum, Brad.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move over to John Miller's room, the running back position. Turbo Richard, Boston College. This was somebody that this staff tried to recruit back at James Madison. When he hopped in the portal, it was like there were immediate, like this was going to be a direction potentially that Indiana moves in. They moved quickly. Another one of those guys like Sanks, like Zachman, like Marsh, who they brought on campus, didn't let leave. What are your initial thoughts about Turbo Richards?
Comes in as a true junior. Comes in at 5'8", 210. Very similar to like a Kalen Black build. Got a lot of like Maurice Jones-Drew, just smaller back to him. Going to be a great compliment to Lee Beebe, who's like a bigger back, like 6'2", 230. And then we go to Turbo Richard, who's a little 5'8" scat back type. It'll be be a fun little dynamic. Be the most. We always go with the two guys, right? And they kind of carry the load. And for the most part, like Lawton and Ellison, very similar to each other. Black and Hemby, lots of similarities to each other. I think there hasn't been a bigger disparity between the running back duo than Richard and BB coming into this year.
And Kobe Martin's going to factor as
Kobe
well.
Martin,
Brad.
same
wrote a piece on him today.
Same class as Turbo Richard, and we know the capabilities of Kobe Martin. So having that three-headed monster, he's just the next addition to that room. The Mutant Ninja Turtles are back, and Turbo Richard is another piece of that. So, yeah, super excited to see how they use him in the pass game. Might be even, I don't like. He's going to be a return guy on this team, by the way. He's got a lot of, he's going to return kicks for this team as well. So I'm just excited to see Turbo. People are calling him Turbo Dick because of his, Turbo Richard. I think it's cool. I think it's a cool nickname, to be honest. I think it's cool.
Let's move on to Joshua Burnham, Brad. He's going to play, I believe, the big edge, hand in the dirt edge. He's a Notre Dame transfer. We've had some great success with those in the past. Obviously, think Pat Coogan, but athletic playmaker. He's a dude who's battled injuries. One of the guys who, as much like as we like to make fun of the Notre Dame fans and we have our battles, the Notre Dame fans love this dude. Like, absolutely love this guy. He's somebody who had a speaking part in the Shane Gillis skit when they brought him to campus last year. So what are your initial thoughts about Joshua Burnham? Because on the football field, the guy looks like a freak.
Yeah, I saw him make a play where he took the ball in the air and caught it and ran it back for a touchdown. He's the big end. He's not Toby. He's a bigger guy. I have him slotted him as a starter. He's been at Notre Dame past 2 years. They've been pretty damn good. He's been playing a lot for them. He's going to come in and another guy with a ton of edge to him, and he's going to be so productive for us. And like this D-line, they play as a true unit. So like he's just another piece of the puzzle as we're going to probably rotate 8, maybe 9, 10 guys. Look at this depth chart. It's like so loaded from the back. It's like, holy shit. We got some guys in the 3D. I'm like, man, they're not playing yet. Like it's getting crazy in Bloomington. We're stacking talent. And Josh Barnes, once again, just another piece of that. And he's going to continue to have success, make strides in what will be his senior season at Indiana. And he's going to have one last ride with the boys, and he's going to make a big impact. He's a great fit for what we like to do on defense. Brian Haynes, where we like to do a lot of stunts. He's very athletic, can move around, can also just do a straight power rush and go on the outside and do his thing, and brings a lot of versatility to that position. Very common theme with all the DNs that we'll be talking about throughout the offseason.
And athletic enough to drop
line somehow getting better. I didn't know it was possible, to be honest, but it just is.
And then another one of those.
All we did is like just as good, and it's like it feels like we're getting better. You know what I mean?
Which is terrifying for the rest of the country. But another one of those edges, Brad, another guy that Indiana brought in to play the big edge, Chidi Obiazor, that is Osun Sami's teammate from Kansas State. I see you shaking your head already, Brad. I'm just going to give you the floor.
A redshirt junior. This guy might be coming back next year as well. He's going to be rotating in 6'6", 275. I love that. Measurable as a DN, big DN, 3 feet, 4-point stance, do your thing, has a lot of athleticism being that tall, right? And can do a lot of great things. A guy that can maybe even slide inside if we want to go just all out, like go Landino, Obiazor, Toby, and Barnum, and just fucking let loose at the quarterback on third and long and just make the quarterback shit his pants. Like, yeah, let's fucking ride. Chidi Obiazor is going to be a monster in this program once he sacks a winter workout, a spring camp, and a fall camp. Like, this guy, I would love to say he's going to come back. He's a redshirt junior. Like, this guy might have a fucking 15 tackle for loss season and leave us. Like, after 1 year, like it's going to be, yeah, we're going to have so much depth in this D-line room down to the 4 deep, man. I'm looking at names. I'm like, holy crap. Like, this, they are so loaded. You ignore the stars and just kind of understand these players. I've seen all their tapes. Like, I'm almost speechless, like what they've been able to do and somehow like get back. Like, we were going like Wyatt Daly, Kamara. Yeah, Kamara was returning All-American. Wyatt was one of the better players on Maryland. Like Daly, like these guys have crazy athletic measurables that maybe like Daly was a freak. Yes, Wyatt was a freak. Like they're at the same level, and like we're gonna be just good as long as they can stay healthy, which was an issue with the D line this past year. Like we're gonna be so well suited with this depth that we have at that position.
Absolutely. Loaded was the word of the offseason last year. You might have to find a stronger one because I think you're right. We're somehow
I'm gonna have to find a if last year's team was loaded, what is this team? Holy shit.
Let's move on, Brad. Brockshot, tight end, transfer from Miami. Was a target in the class of 2025. He's an in-state guy, Fort Wayne, I believe, Fort Wayne. What are your thoughts on Brockshot, who looks like, at least in terms of seniority, well, I guess not. If he's in the 2025 class, they're just super, super young in the tight end room. So, what do you think of the decision to bring in Brockshot and how he's going to impact the team?
He's slotted as a starter on my depth chart. I think the tight end room's wide open because, like you said, everyone in there is either a second-year guy or a first-year guy in college. Every single guy. They have 6 scholarship tight ends. All of them are. So it's a wide-open competition in that tight end room. And
that would be the one spot where I believe, like, to somewhat answer Alex's question from earlier, is that I believe tight end is a spot where they're going to look to add.
Yeah, they could. It's like, I don't want to bring up names, but like Brody Foley, who could have been a boomerang, had a great year at Tulsa, ended up going to Louisville. Would have been a great like senior tight end to bring in potentially, but it looks like they're going youth movement over in the tight end room, which is great. Like it's not a make or break position group for this team by any means.
Especially with the wide receiver room.
Brockshot brings in the most experience. He's the only guy to see game action in the tight end room. He's still a redshirt freshman. He's coming in at 6'3", 245. So very similar, not quite. The rest of the guys in this room are like the 6'5", 6'4", 6'6", like freak AJ Barner types that, go to the NFL and things like that. He still has that same type of body and has a ton of potential and was a 4-star recruit, in-state kid, loves Indiana, brings a lot to the table. Like he's slotted in as I started, like I said, like this tight end room wide open. There's going to be some young guys that are going to make some big impacts, and he might be one of them. Brockshot out of Miami. I mean, there's a reason why he went to Miami, right? Like he's top talent, right? And he clearly just wanted to go home and play for the Hoosiers. Like it is very obvious to me that that's what went down. It wasn't necessarily even about like, hey, I'm at Miami. It's like, oh shit, Indiana's back. I grew up going to Assembly Hall, and I'm going to go play football for the greatest coach in all the land, in Kurt Cignetti. It's very obvious that that's how that went down. And so, yeah, wish him the best in his career. He's going to be around for a while, so get used to it. But as we break down the tight end room, there's some names in there that I'm like a couple, there's some true freshmen, some retro freshmen. I'm like, they can make some impacts too. So he's in for lots. It's the youngest by far position room on the roster. Probably by far the most athletically gifted tight end room we've had in the Cignetti era. Not even close. Like in terms of like tight end ideal mold, in terms of body type, like these guys, top to bottom, insane group. They've been able to. I see 5 guys out of the 6 scholarship guys that were like, okay, they can make impacts pretty much right away.
Definitely going to be keeping an eye on that room. Let's move over to special teams, Brad. Billy Gowers.
They might not need to add talent. They might not need to. You know what I mean? Like they might have it there. It's somewhere, but we just don't know who it is.
Well, we know who it is.
I have a name. I threw a name at you.
It's the only 2-time Freak of the Week winner.
What's funny is that
that's not who you were thinking of?
It's not who I'm thinking of because I need to see how much weight he's able to add throughout the offseason. Blake Thierry, because he still had the track body going into the season this year.
Track and wrestling.
We'll see what he's able to get his weight at. And being a wrestler, he shouldn't have any problem with adding weight. So we'll see how that goes. So I'll have more to you when I see the spring roster drop and I'm able to see all these guys' weights because Thierry was listed at 225.
We'll see when they start posting off-season workout videos because we haven't seen them with Tyson Brown yet. And I know that this Indiana staff is like the way that they operate their social media is we're going to see a couple videos of the workouts. We're not going to see 7 days a week, like a video every day for workouts, but we'll get 1 or 2. And hopefully we see some of the guys in there. Billy Gowers, Brad, punter, Hawaii, Mitch McCarthy recommended, 29-year-old sophomore.
Love it.
I love it.
Australian punters. Give me all the Australian punters. Thank you. Next, like, going to be our punter for the next 3 years. Awesome. It's going to be great. I remember watching the reason why I love Australian punters is because the one who actually started the Australian specialist movement was a guy at Salt Lake City, Utah, Kyle Whittingham. And I would watch these guys punt at the Rose Bowl and basically put the ball wherever they wanted it. And if Billy Gowers is like that, hell, that's great addition. Going to be a 3-year starter at punter. And just absolute great, fantastic addition to the team. Another adult in the room that is going to be a great leader on the team. Like, period. Like, I'm going to listen to the I'm 19. I'm listening to the 29-year-old when it comes to work. Like, yeah. I don't care if he's punting. Like, he's got life experience,
Let's talk about Joe Yelly, Brad. Let's talk about Joe Yelly, defensive tackle, Tulsa, and a Buffton Prime 5-star.
Oh, no way. Buffton Prime 5-star. That's sick. What's great is that we already have Landino and Tucker coming.
And he's the third defensive tackle.
Supplanting it, right? He's coming as that third guy. He's going to be in on all those jumbo sets, and it's third and short. Like, it's going to be Landino, Tucker, and Yelly right in the middle, right on the center. And that's so awesome. Like, that's cool. Like just picture, like, we want to go 5 D linemen. We can go Barnum, Landino, Tucker, Yelly, Obiazer. Didn't even mention Toby and Dukeway or any of those guys. Like, we want to go jumbo D line. Like, our jumbo versus your jumbo. Let's see what's up. Yeah, he's gonna be awesome. Like, he's gonna be a rotational guy. Won't get his flowers. Won't be all conference, but he'll be a great addition to this team.
I agree.
And if he is all conference, fuck, we're probably winning. We're probably beating the shit out of everyone. Holy crap.
Drew Clausen, long snapper from Iowa State. Matt Campbell could not bring him over to Penn State. Kurt Signetti gets an experienced long snapper. What do you think?
Redshirt graduate. I think that sticks out to me. 6'6", 260. That's NFL long snapper body. It is. NFL long snapper body. Was considered one of the best long snappers in the country. Past 2 years, we got him. We talk about Mark Langston. He was great. Never had any issues snapping the ball with him. He was 6'1", 250. Like, not the ideal body. Like, this guy can go out there on punt and deck the shit out of the punt returner if you wanted to. Like, great addition. Played power 4 ball. Like, I don't know how. Signetti's how he was able to get him to come to Indiana over Penn State is blowing my mind. But clearly, Grant Kane and company had other plans. We're going to build the best special teams unit in the country. And guess what? We can talk all day about offense, defense. Like, our specialists. Holy fuck. Our best specialty unit in the country. It's not even close. Like, I gave it a 6 during the Iowa preview. I was 10 on special. I don't even know who's returning punts. I don't even know. No idea. Maybe Davion Chandler or something like that. That'd be fun.
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
Let's just close out the special teams unit then right now. Patty McAteer, kicker from Tulane. He's going to be the long-range field goal kicker, the Brendan Frankie replacement, I think.
Yep.
Initial thoughts?
They're on the head. He's going to kick it out of the end zone, and that's that. Let's go. Patty McAteer, baby. As long as he doesn't – can we our specialists just stay healthy for a full season? Like, I love Quinn Warren. Seen too much of him. Knock on wood. All right. But it's good to know, despite all that talent on the front end, we still got Quinn Warren. And we got Bryce Taylor. We got Nico Radicic. All back. Best special teams unit in college football. Not even close. Depth. Like, I love that we actually – how many scholarship guys are we spending on this? We spend 6 scholarship spots on the special teams unit. 6. There's coaches out there that used to not even spend 2, barely. This team puts an emphasis on all three phases. It shows in terms of their scholarship distribution, putting 6 in the specialist unit. Insane. I don't know if Quinn Warren's a walk-on or not, but I'm counting him in that 6. But I imagine if he's gonna strut out Quinn Warren on the Assembly Hall basketball court, I imagine he's got a scholarship. I don't know, like, you know. I think so.
Dude, guy played in like 6,
like
7.
No, I'm doing homework, Sig. I'm not going to the basketball game. Like, I'm a walk-on. Like, you know what I mean? Like, all right, yeah. That's that. Best special teams unit in the country. Yeah, awesome. NFL guys everywhere. Gowers might go league.
Let's talk about Montana State's Carson Williams, cornerback, FCS national champion, and a freshman All-American. Thoughts on Carson Williams?
I believe he's coming in as like a redshirt sophomore or a true sophomore. I'm not quite sure. I'll have to see the depth chart in terms of where they have. But I was doing some digging on him. I couldn't figure out if he was a redshirt freshman last year or a true freshman. Either way, see him as kind of a stash play. This is a guy that's going to be a depth. He's going to be competing with Jalen Hull in a unit that already has a cornerback that we haven't talked about yet, Jamari Sharp and Rylan Gandy coming back, all seniors. Like, we'd love to play the upper class guys. He's one of the lower class guys, the future of this DB room. Him, Jalen Hollywood Bell, and Zachary Smith. Those 2 other guys, Zachary Smith and Jalen Bell, guys that we loved their tape. So was able to see Jalen Hollywood Bell play a little game action in person. He's ready. Physically, he's ready to go. So, like, just the amount of depth that Carson Williams is going to be able to bring this cornerback room and kind of replacing the Amari Knighton role where we kind of just upgraded it in talent and, like, was able to get a younger guy to kind of develop within that system is fantastic. And he's going to be a special piece. Listed at 5'11", 170. You're going to have to drink some chocolate milk, peanut butter jelly sandwiches, peanut butter banana sandwiches, whatever you got to do. Yeah, Tyson, this is going to be a Tyson, what is his name? Tyson Brown passion project, Carson Williams. Lots of talent. National champion, started as a freshman for Montana State. They beat my Grizz. Devastated, but, as long as he's not on the Bobcats anymore, I'm happy. So that's good. Let's go. Let's roll.
It's good for Brad in two ways.
No, he's going to – that's a guy that's going to know what's up. He's going to fit right in. Very similar to Nick Marsh. Like, he's just going to fit right in. He's got the right stuff.
Shaz Preston, Brad.
Last year we had Coop, Surratt, and Becker. This year we got Marsh, Becker, Preston. Yes, we have Tyler Morris coming back as the slot guy, gadget guy. Like, I could see this guy being wide receiver 3 on this team. He comes in. He was a Bama commit, Bama player, transferred to Tulane, came back. Like, he might have been a 5-star, 4-star guy. Like, he's the guy that's figured it out and has a blue chip guy, can come in. He's going to be a redshirt senior. He's going to be productive. He's not a slot guy. He's 6 foot 206, something like that. He's like an outside guy, could play a little bit. He'll be that Omar Cooper kind of flex. I can go inside, I can go outside. Come and find me. I'm Shaz Preston. You don't know where I'm going to line up type player, and kind of fits that. He's not Omar Cooper. He's not, but he's going to fill that role. And we got other guys in the room that can fulfill that production as well. And he could do it by himself as well. Like, this guy is great name. Shaz Preston. Love that. I'm a big name guy, big advocate of guys with great names. LeBron Bond, Jaja Boyd, those guys. Shaz Preston. He's gonna be very productive for this team. Probably wide receiver 3 right now. I have him on my 2 deep right now because I have Tyler Morris at the slot, but he's in bold, which means he's basically an extra starter in the wide receiver room.
It's great stuff. You alluded to another corner in the room when you were talking about Carson Williams. This is that other corner. It's AJ Harris, cornerback from Penn State. We talked about guys potentially having their quote-unquote auditions against Indiana. It wasn't the strongest 2025 season for AJ Harris, but he did have an unbelievable game against Indiana. He comes with an elite pedigree. So talk about AJ Harris.
A true senior. Is in his 4th year in college football. Came in this past year as a preseason All Big Ten player. a guy with a lot of draft buzz, a guy that probably in the grand scheme of things had a disappointing year in the fact that he's not going to the draft this year. I don't know if I'm not sure if it was due to injuries or things like that. Weird things going on in that Penn State program this past year. Kind of just a season that was just lost, where they just lost faith in their head coach, lost the locker room, whatever happened. He gets a new start at Cignetti Rehab, and he's going to be able to revitalize his career, have him slot at cornerback 2, might even be our best corner. Like talent wise, he's got the stuff. Now, Pons is Pons, right? And we can talk about how loaded this roster is, and like special players like Fisher and Pons, and they don't grow on trees. And he's not gonna be. I'm not gonna like impose limitations on him, but like he's not gonna lock up. He's not gonna Darrell Revis this shit, right? But he's gonna fit in the system. We saw what happened when Rylan Gandy was able to kind of just step in for Pons that one game. It's like we didn't miss a beat, like damn near. Like yeah, Iowa was getting maybe some stuff they probably wouldn't have if Pons was on the field, but still a freaking fantastic defensive performance. Only gave up 13 points in probably Gronowski's game of his life until he got hurt. Like AJ Harris is going to come in. He's going to have his best season. He's going to come in and put in the work. I don't think they'd bring him in if he wasn't on board for that, understanding how hard this program is and going into there. I don't think there's any like red flags around AJ Harris. I don't know why I have to like kind of vouch for his like personality, but they wouldn't bring him in if he wasn't one of those guys, if he didn't have the right stuff. And he's going to come in, he's going to be focused, and he's got it. We talk about finding the edge, like individually. Talk about Barnum, talk about Carson Williams. AJ Harris is going to have a guy with a chip on his shoulder going into this next year. Got a guy with something to prove, right? Got a lot of doubters out there. Didn't go to the draft this past year like he probably should have. And yeah, he's going to come in with a chip on his shoulder, feeling like he is back against the wall in terms of his career and his money earning potential in the NFL. Had to, almost I hate to use this word, but waste another year in the college ranks and develop. But what better place to do that than at the defending national champions, Indiana, Bloomington Football School, the program of all programs.
I'm trying to figure out a way to work this analogy in, because we called Nick Marsh the crown jewel of the transfer portal class, and obviously we know how important the quarterback position is, so maybe that's the person who wears the crown, but the actual gold and the material itself that it's built out of, the most sturdy, the most reliable piece of the crown, Brad, I would have to say is Joe Brunner. You called him your favorite non-talked about enough player from this transfer portal class. I don't think we need to explain to football fans how important the offensive line is, the fact that Indiana's bringing back 4 of 5 starters, and you could even make the argument that the best the best guy of the bunch isn't even the guy returning. Now, Carter Smith, Big Ten Offensive Lineman of the Year. I wouldn't make that argument, but Joe Brunner, unbelievably talented. Another one of those guys who came into 2025 with a lot of preseason buzz, and somebody who Texas, who's throwing around all sorts of money in the portal, was very highly on. So I know I told you to hold your tongue or bite your tongue on Joe Brunner earlier, but I'm going to give you the floor to talk about him now.
Verbal meme. We got the Infinity Gauntlet. We got 5 stones. It's Ajani. We got Bray Lynch, got Drew Evans, got Carter Smith. Feels like getting Joe Brunner is like the last Infinity Stone, and all of a sudden we got all the power. We got the best O-line in the country. Feels like he's the missing piece in terms of building that front 5 where there's no question marks. Going into this past year, we were like, who's going to play right tackle? Is it going to be Benson? Is it going to be Mikowski? Trick question. It was Ajani the whole time. Figured it out toward the end. He started at right tackle in the Rose Bowl game, played a fantastic game. And so Brunner just feels like he's going to slot right in at right guard, maybe center. I don't know what they're going to do with Bray Lynch. People are assuming with Bray Lynch's versatility, you got to imagine we saw him come in as a backup center throughout the year when Coogan got his helmet knocked off. So that was kind of a little sneak peek at Bray Lynch potentially being that center. So Brunner coming in as that 5th piece. We'll see. We're projecting him at the right guard spot. Feels like we got the Infinity Gauntlet with this O-line. Feels like it's going to be the best unit in the country, top to bottom. Lots of questions around, and we'll get more into it as we go through the rooms with a lot of youth behind it. all Bosted guys. So, Ajani was a redshirt freshman last year. We got 3 redshirt freshmen and a redshirt sophomore behind them, all Bosted guys. So I believe just trusting Bosted, trusting Sig. Brunner feels like at the top, this is the best starting 5 at the O-line in the country going into next year, just considering like this team has been nominated for the Joe Moore Award the past 2 years. It feels like they're knocking on the door to finally get there this year. I feel like this is the unit to get it done, and he's that missing piece. Listed at 6'5", 320, like NFL. That is the size of the guard if you're the number 1 team in the country. Like that was those Alabama lines, those Ohio State lines to this day. Like that's how big these guys are big, and he's the biggest O-lineman on this team going into next year. So yeah, adding him is great. He's that missing puzzle piece for this. What's going to be the best O-line in the country next year.
I love it, Brad. I know I said 10 o'clock hard stop, but I do want to put the highlight on the class of 2026. I don't want to talk about the entire class because me and you have broken it down ad nauseum. You can go back, you can find the clips when these guys are originally committed. We got a long off season
to play right away, and it's like they're going to be depth pieces. We're going to go through all the rooms, and it feels like we do the transfer portal and it's almost like at that point we're covering all the rooms, right? And it's like we want to leave some things unspoken. But yeah, what did you want to talk about in terms of the freshmen?
I just want to, off the top of your head, Brad, pick out 2 guys you really like, and just give me like 2 sentences.
Trevor Gibbs, tight end, ready now, good to go, freak, 6'4", 235. I just remember watching his tape. I'm just like, this guy. He's got the poofy hair on the back of his helmet. He's playing linebackers. Like, this guy's too big to be playing linebacker. That's huge. Crazy ball skills. Like that's when I was alluding to guys that in that young tight end room that can come in. He might be tight end 1 by the time we get to fall camp. Like he might. Wow. He might. He's that level of athlete. And then I'm going to go defense for the other one. With Caden Turner coming back, as you know, with Utz and Turner behind the 2 other guys, the 2 all Big Ten guys coming back, it feels like that 2 deep at linebacker is the best in the country. It almost feels like with all these players, right? And then like the depth that they have in this freshman linebacking group that they brought in. Jaden Williams, talented player, probably needs some time to grow and develop a little bit just from a physical standpoint. Henry Olinger feels like he's ready to go right now. He's going to be on special teams. He's going to make an impact right away. And I'll throw Jacob Savage in there too, because he's already 220, and he's going to go in there in the winter workouts and put on a couple and probably already be at that 230 mark, which is what we look for at the linebacker room to see if you're ready. And yeah, those are the names that I'm throwing out there as the true freshmen. And I'll throw in Cam McHaney too, IMG guy, D tackle, lots of depth. And I was naming like we might rotate 9 and 10, like he's like 9, 10. Like we got a lot of D tackles coming in. Got a redshirt freshman, and we're going to talk about it ad nauseum this offseason as well in that D tackle room. But so many loaded front 7 group coming in from the true freshman class. I believe we have 9 front 7 guys that are going to be true freshmen on the roster next year.
Yeah, no, you could name all of them. Like you didn't even like. We could sit here and name the whole class.
Ronald Johnson, that's a guy that Cavante Scarface Hoogan coming in. Like when I was looking at, like when I was saying like 4 deep, like here's my 4 deep right now. Here's my 4th string D lineman right now. They're all true freshmen. Ronald Johnson, 4-star. Cavante Hoogan, fringe 4-star at the D. Those are the edges. Gabriel Hill is a 4-star on Rivals. He's a D tackle. And then you got Blake Smythe he's 300-pounder freshman coming in.
You didn't even name Rodney White.
That's the 4th string.
You didn't even name Rodney White, who's
those
also
guys might come out. Yeah, Rodney White's on the 5th string line right now.
He's on campus. These dudes are all. I think these guys actually are all on campus.
Yeah, I believe all but 3 guys from this true freshman class are on campus, going to winter workouts. Scary stuff. Scary.
absolutely terrifying stuff. Yeah, you actually kind of named all the guys I was going to sneaky highlight. So I'll point out, like I said, Rodney White, Cortez Rupert had an unreal catch, big, lanky, fast wide receiver out of East St. Louis.
Yeah,
Sam Simpson was the first commit.
Yeah.
Sorry. Sam Simpson was the first overall commit in the class. And then they cleaned up in the state. And Casimir Hicks is one of the most talented guys in the class. He's the only cornerback coming in. And that's like I said, they did unbelievably well in the state of Indiana. And you could argue he's the best player from Indiana, him or McCaney.
Yeah, it's 4 true freshman linemen coming in, all built, almost ready to go size-wise. We'll see what their actual weights are once they get on the spring roster, but they all are listed at 290 plus already.
We might as well just name the rest of the class because we like Parker Elmore in the tight end room along with PJ McFarland
on 20 pounds. Like he might be the tight end one. Like that's a dude.
Parker Elmore was somebody who was playing quarterback, had a knee injury and transferred, I believe. Or something along those lines, and ended up like sitting out an entire football season. He completely shot up like recruiting rankings. He was one of the biggest risers for at least rivals that I saw. And then like Jerryon Campbell in the running back room. LeVar Keys was the Penn State flip or Penn State decommit. DeMonte Timms was Colorado flip.
That's a guy that might play special teams next. DeMonte Timms is like physically ready to go. Now.
Jamar Owens is a guy where they were it felt like they were scouting Cortez Redding and ended up like, wait, hold on, we like Owens like just as much, if not better.
Yeah, we might have special teams units where they're all freshmen and they're all just studs, just waiting in the wings, right? We know what, and you know our theory on really good special teams players. They turn out to be really good football players. Cortez Rupert, like you mentioned, East St. Louis, so many talented athletes come out of that area over the years. LeVar Keys came out. DeMatha. I mean, I don't have to get started about DeMatha. Like Hunter Dickinson, Victor Oladipo. Like, come on now. Like, what are we talking about? Like, so many good athletes come out of there. Like, didn't bring in a true freshman quarterback, which kind of makes sense because we got Tyler Cherry coming back, who we haven't even talked about at all. Like, he might be competing for a quarterback 2 role. Guys. Oh yeah, or Alberto's. You can leave because we always had because remember we brought in Alberto and Tyler Cherry at the same time. It's like Tyler Cherry could be that backup quarterback if he hopefully he healed right and he's feeling good physically and he didn't drop too much weight and there's so much talent top to bottom in this team. It's astronomical because remember I do this every year. I go through the entire roster, break down the depth chart. It's like from 2024 to now, like it's like I know these guys are gonna be good. Like it's the amount of talent. It's like we're Bama. We're here. We are here. We are eerily similar to those Nick Saban Bama teams, just physically. So many guys coming in ready to go, and they're like they're in a tough spot because there's so much talent at the top. It's going to be so good. Iron sharpens. I cannot wait to cover. These practices are going to be insane. They're going to be so good. There was a lot of holes on this 2025 team when you go past the 3rd and 4th line. Because remember, the whole time I was talking about her, 2 deep was loaded. But beyond that, a lot of question marks. Didn't know what we had. A lot to be confident in because a lot of these true freshmen that were on that 3rd string line and our redshirt freshmen still on that 3rd string line, and they just keep adding more players. They're really, really good. And the amount of talent on this team, top to bottom. I mean, I threw in Anthony Chung and Clay Connor on that roster because they seem to be major contributors on this team as redshirt juniors, walk-ons, maybe former walk-ons. We'll see how that shakes up for them. And they'll be contributors on this team. We'll see if Bryson Bonds come back. I heard he's probably not. Like, there's a lot to.
Bryson Bonds is officially as an athlete is done. He was talking about potentially coming back as a member of the coaching staff. I know that it was funny. I texted in the group chat.
Coaching staff member that could potentially put on the pads if we have some freak accident in the safety room. It was like, fuck, We gotta get him back.
Indiana lost in a one of the defensive back staffers took a job, I believe, at Toledo or Tulsa. But took like a promotion. Like obviously you take those opportunities, and so if there is an opening, if they didn't fill it yet, Bryson Bonds feels like he'd be a really nice fit there. He was going to all the meetings this year, like at all the practices.
Love that.
But Caden Turner confirmed back as you. Do you want to quickly go through just announce who you believe the starters are going to be based off your too deep, and then we'll get out of here because the under 16 just came back in the Indiana game. It's a 14-10 USC, very, very early in this one.
Do I need to? We'll be talking about it now. Okay. Starting at quarterback, we got Josh Hoover, 6'2", 200, redshirt senior. Running back, 29, Lee Beebe, 5'10", 220, senior. Receiver, Nick Marsh, junior, 6'3". Charlie Becker, 6'4", junior. Tyler Morris, 5'11", senior. I'll just throw in no tight end. Shaz Preston, 6 foot, senior. Receiver. O-line, left tackle. Carter Smith, 6'5", senior. 6'2", Drew Evans, or 60 left guard, Drew Evans, 6'4", senior. Center, Bray Lynch, 6'5", senior. Right guard, Joe Brunner, 6'5", senior. Right tackle, Ademola Ajani, 6'4", sophomore. Fun. D-line, Josh Barnum, 6'4", senior. D-tackle, Mario Landino, 6'4", junior. D-tackle, number 95, Tyree Tucker, all-conference guy, 6 foot, senior. Toby Osunsami, 6'3", senior. Linebacker, Roe Hardy, 5'11", junior. Linebacker, number 46, Isaiah Bones Jones, 6'2", senior.
Green dot.
I might give the green dot to Hardy.
Green dot's going to Bones. 100% going to Bones.
Word. Love it. I don't care. Doesn't matter. Anyways, corner. Game-winning pick in the national title game, number 22, Jamari Sharp, 6'1", senior. Other corner, A.J. Harris, 6'1", senior. Rover, Jaquan Sanks, 5'10", junior. Safety, Preston Zachman, 6'1", senior. And at safety, number 1, Mari Farrell, 6'2", senior. Lots of seniors. Kicker, Nico Radicic, 5'11", junior. Billy Gowers, 6'1", sophomore. And long snapper, Drew Clausen, 6'6", redshirt graduate. Old man.
Oh, baby.
Is that scary or what? Like,
it's fun, man. It gets fun when you start like thinking about the different combinations on the defensive line. And
didn't even mention Chidi Obiazer, didn't even mention Ndukwe, didn't mention Caden Turner.
It's funny to think about how good this Brian Haynes defense was this year, and then think about points during the season and during drives where you're just like, man, it feels like we're getting a little tired or the tempo's messing with us or something. And now it feels like you can just full blown take out 11 guys and put 11 different guys in, and there's very little drop off in quality, which is a terrifying thought.
Plug and play, and this team is as scary as ever. I wish Angelo was still watching these shows, man. I hope he gets back into it. I know he's kind of focused.
I have verbal confirmation from Angelo that he is not like he's in the fan base, man. Like he's not going anywhere.
He loves Indiana.
He loves it. Yeah. I don't know if he's going to be like around Bloomington, like all that stuff.
I just want to see him in the chat again. That's all I want.
In the chat would be awesome. Yeah, in the chat would be awesome. But no, he's going to be around on Twitter and all that stuff. And like, like Indiana's pro day is still coming up, and like Mendoza's going to throw at the pro day. And we're going to see like a whole bunch of we're going to get to watch him throw, and I'm sure Hoover will throw a little bit, and we'll get to see Marsh and those guys run routes for Mendoza, which would be pretty cool. And yeah, but just like there's a lot of like really fun things on the horizon for the 2025 Indiana Hoosiers team.
And DJ Williams would be running routes. Those guys, remember those guys? They were pretty good. Those three, they're decent.
All those dudes, yeah. Nowakowski will be running around. Yeah, the band will be back together, and then like all those guys are going to get drafted. They're going to sign. There's going to be like there was a bunch of Lewis Moore interviews from this past week, which were really cool. And then you never know. Like I'm not promising anything, but like who knows who we can reach out to? You know what I mean? So like I don't know who we could have.
We might be older than we were last year, which is kind of the scary thing, and they're more talented.
You're talking about the 26 team. I'm talking about potentially the 25. Whatever. We're in two different spots, but I think this is a good time for us to end
I
the
love
show.
that you let me run through the starters because, dude, holy shit. Come at us. No, seriously, like I want all the smoke. I want it all. I want it all. I want
We'll
you guys
be right
to
here.
we're gonna beat your ass by 50. I cannot wait.
We'll be right here. Please like, comment, share, subscribe to Indiana at the Voice of College Football on YouTube. If you're watching on the SIGs Inside Twitter account, hop on over to YouTube, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, the bell notification, all that good stuff. Brad and I are dropping videos every day. The videos will be from this, but yeah, we're live every Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern. Follow us on Twitter at Alec Keyser, at Bradley_Loomis8. Follow the show at Indiana VOCFB. Check out the Voice of College Football and everything we got going on there. And Brad and I will be back next week talking Indiana Hoosiers football.
Oh yeah, every Tuesday. Can't wait.
It's
February and I'm juiced up reading through the starting lineup right now.
Brad, this team's gonna be so damn good next year that I'm literally wearing national championship gear, and I forgot. Indiana Hoosiers, national champions.
We're defending Rose Bowl, Peach Bowl,
defending national champions, and it's like it doesn't even stop. We just roll right into next year, and guess what? Like, you're right, we want all the smoke because this team is really damn good. And while it's hard to go 16-0 every year, like Indiana is going to have a very, very good chance to win every single football game they play next year. Like, in terms of like individual football games, like when they step on the field and try and go 1-0 each week, like they're going to put a damn good foot forward, and that's unbelievably exciting.
I think what's scary about this team, like, yes, last year it was 11 guys doing their jobs, but like a lot of times Fernando had to play Superman. A lot of times. And they might not need that this year. This is the scary thing.
Well, I think Josh Hoover, like, here's one of my hot takes for this year, is that I think Josh Hoover could have a better statistical season than Fernando and not win the Heisman.
Yeah. Like, he's going to have more yards on the ground. He's
like more yards in the air, more touchdown passes. Like
RPO is going to be unguardable. Like, you got Becker Marsh out there. He's running RPO with BB and Turbo.
Yeah, I've seen some people be like, Hoover isn't that athletic or isn't as mobile as Mendoza, and I just don't get the same. Like, he's not the, like, you're not calling QB draw for him, and he's not going to run like 60 yards on a given play, and he's definitely not Colton Joseph. But man, that guy's escapability and his ability to throw from awkward arm angles and on the run, and yeah, he said we're gonna be all right, Brad. We're gonna
be just fine. Not worried about it. I'm gonna crunch some more Josh Hoover tape, and I'll have some more concrete takes on Josh
and
Hoover.
Yeah, Lamar Wilkerson, 24-foot 3-point shooter. Let's go support the Hoosiers, Brad. Go on, hop on Peacock, hop on NBC Sports Network.
USC, let's go.
Beat the Trojans. Go Hoosiers. We'll be back next week talking Indiana Hoosiers football. Shout out to Tino Sinceri, live Tino Sinceri news break on the show. That was incredible. Tino's back in the fold. You didn't even know, Brad, and I'll leave the viewing audience with this. Brian Haynes tweet from 39 minutes ago. OG crew back together. Good luck to y'all. Hashtag reigning. Hashtag defending. Good luck. Go Hoosiers.
Go.